Welcome to a world of thrills, a world of drama, of capes and tights, a world where death is a revolving door. Welcome to the Geek Matrix. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Geek Matrix DC Comics Review Show, episode number 243, if I got that number right, because I wasn't here last week.
I think so.
Hopefully.
Close enough.
Yeah.
It's what we're running with.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. Hello. Welcome back. My name is Rob.
Made that sound like we're starting off with a nature show. Hello, welcome back. Today we'll be investigating the natural habitat of the rainforest frog.
Hey, rainforest frogs are cool, man.
And
I said that like somebody didn't like a rainforest frog. Rainforest frogs are cool, man. Make me see colors.
Just saying, you kind of channeled a little bit of Ken Burns there.
Yeah, I was going for Tommy Trump.
Attenborough.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, we are here every week talking about DC Comics releases for the week, and this week is no different. We're probably going to talk about some other stuff too, though I have not really read anything else yet. My list is getting hefty again. Not a great move.
Still catching up on some other stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll definitely get there. But there's a lot of interesting books to talk about today, and I cannot wait to get into them. But before we do that, as always, talk about ourselves, get into some news, anything new going on. What I missed last week?
We were here and we were talking about comic books.
Yeah, a couple of announcements that I can't really remember now.
Nope, me either.
Yeah. Aside from that, I don't know. Nothing new to report. I picked up a bunch of issues of Hawk World at a comic sale last weekend, which is really cool.
Right
Because
on.
I've never
Hell
read
yeah.
the series. I forgot that there was an ongoing series after the mini-series, which is pretty cool too. So I've got like the first 13 issues that I've been dying to get into, but I haven't done it yet.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
The man has taste, Rob.
What taste?
Taste for Thanagarians.
Oh. Yeah, they do taste good. Especially when rotisserie.
Oh my God.
You know. It was Easter.
Somebody
We
out
had
there
chicken.
help this man. He desperately
Yeah.
needs it.
This cover though, look at this. It's insane.
Yeah,
I love
some
Tim
really
Truman.
cool covers.
I know.
Yeah, I'll give it that. The covers for Hawk World are amazing. Though I am curious about that book. I do wonder if it might change my mind about the Thanagarians. This Hawk World sounds
We'll see.
interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I'll give you my thoughts, and maybe that'll be enough to convince you.
Maybe. I would love to hear them. Well, if I may, I also got the chance to go to a comic shop last week,
Lucky
Yes.
turds.
which I never get to do. And I picked up every Green Lantern I could find. I don't
Typical.
even know what some of these are, but they're all variant covers, so that's the thing. So, I got the facsimile for number 59, Guy
Nice.
Gardner first appearance. I don't know what issue this is because the title's not on it, but this cover is beautiful.
Trying to squint, I can't see. Huh.
Kyle and Jess.
Interesting. It looks like a newer cover.
It is. It's one of the newer issues. This is Green Lantern Corps number 2.
Mm, nice.
Kyle. Green Lantern number 21. Laura Braga, Hal Jordan. There you
Do you have any issues that aren't Green Lantern?
go. Yes. Got Absolute Green Lantern number 1. Green Lantern
Oh my
Corps number
God.
3. Both variants. They are beautiful. I love the artwork on
lucky.
these. But I
Nice,
did also
nice,
pick up
nice.
Absolute Martian Manhunter number 1. Because what a freaking book.
Oh man, yeah.
Holographic variant cover.
Sick.
Now
I
you get
forgot
to
about
actually
this.
experience that
Yes.
the
I can't
Martian
wait to actually do
Mindfucker.
it.
It's pretty awesome.
Yes. I forgot I got this. Ange was kind of interested in it too, and it's Fantastic Four, so I want to check it out.
Hmm.
It's what if Mickey and friends became the Fantastic Four?
Sure.
Disney tie-in. Why not? Also, variant cover. So
Mm.
Just for the record, Dash says those What If Disney books are
Yeah.
really good.
good. I flipped through one in the shop. It looked interesting.
Mm.
He he's not easy to impress.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Like he the only series that he continuously reads is Sonic the Hedgehog.
Which I don't
He's
blame
tried
him.
out quite a bit, and he's just won't stay with anything else. Nothing else measures up to stuff. He read all of Multiversity.
Wow, that's
How old is he?
No,
Yeah.
wait, not Multiversity.
Okay.
Multiverses.
I was like, oh my god.
I was gonna
He read all of
say,
Multiverses.
I have no words.
My
Yeah.
bad.
It's a very conceptual book. I don't think I would have been able to read that at. How old is he? Like
9.
10? Yeah. I was still working through Calvin and Hobbes.
I was still reading Superman Adventures. I don't know. Yeah, that'd be Dash would be my hero if he read all of
Yeah.
Multiversity at 10 years old.
Well,
Right.
he'd be like the kid in my class that I wanted to be. He was able
He'd
to
probably
read all of
bitch about it being
Multiversity.
too dense, if I'm being
I
honest.
mean, I read Multiversity at 25 and I didn't understand it. So
Yeah.
I had to go over it a few times. Yeah. Just want to brag about a couple more things. I love a humble brag. I feel bad.
You love a humble brag.
I do
No,
love
I can
a-
brag
There's
too.
That's an
if you wanna feel less
oxymoron,
bad.
like military
Fair
intelligence.
enough. Yeah, go for it. I got some McFarlane orders in. I got my Guy Gardner.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Right
Not from
on.
Amazon, mind you, from GameStop. Amazon still sucks. And I ordered this from Amazon in the US because they had an amazing sale. I got my Solomon Grundy and Arkham Batman.
Hell yeah.
Because I
That's
figured
super.
this Solomon Grundy
Super cool.
would be perfect for a Yellow Lantern construct.
Mm.
And if
Time
I
to
get
make
my
it.
hands on the platinum version of Green Lantern Batman, which was all green,
Yeah.
perfect Green Lantern construct, and I can have Sinestro and Hal fighting with Batman and Solomon Grundy, and I think it would be a perfect little setup. But that's just me. Oh shit! One more.
I was trying to imagine any of them using Solomon Grundy or making a construct of Solomon Grundy. Seemed very
Maybe the
bizarre.
Red Lanterns.
Yeah.
But he's yellow. That's the thing.
Maybe
Maybe,
Larfleeze.
like I could see like
But he's
Jade
yellow,
doing
not
that,
orange.
you know. Or
Larfleeze
Alan,
might
Alan
do
doesn't
it.
really make constructs, but yeah, I could see Jade doing that.
Larfleeze might do it because he knows that Solomon Grundy wouldn't want anything.
Would
Well,
Larfleeze
speaking
even know
of
who
Jade.
Larfleeze even know who Solomon Grundy is?
I don't know. Does his ring maybe have AI that we just don't know about?
It's possible.
Mm.
I think all the rings have some level of AI. Just the orange one is kind of mucky. But speaking of Jade, I got this beautiful bust of her father with a
Nice.
certificate of authenticity,
Hell yeah.
and
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
the ring is cosplay ready.
Nice.
I'm so happy.
You know what you need to
That is
do?
pretty cool.
Get out that cape and red shirt.
Yep. I was thinking about that just the other day. That maybe it's time to do an Alan Scott cosplay.
That's not incredibly difficult. I'd
No,
say the
it
hardest
really
part is
shouldn't be
probably just the cape and maybe
boots.
the boots.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
boots 'cause they have
Like,
that
hurry
weird
up,
red
go
lace.
find a Joanne Fabrics and just
Yeah.
grab up like a cape tassel. And
But
I mean,
even the
fabric.
boots, I mean, you can kind of
Yeah, if I can get
finagle
some
it. You don't
red
have to make it,
boots,
yeah, red boots and just
red
draw
leather
some
boots or something.
yellow
yeah,
lines. Yeah.
I
gaffer
mean,
tape or some shit.
Rob, did you ever in theater?
Not
Did you ever
gaffer
do
tape.
that word exercise? Red leather, yellow leather.
I've heard it. I've never had
red
to
leather,
do it.
yellow
Okay.
leather.
Yeah.
I wasn't on
You just
stage
said
too
red
much.
leather
I was
and
more of a
it like
backstage guy.
it unlocked a memory for me.
Yeah, red leather, yellow, red leather, yellow. I could never do it right. I heard it a dozen times during Hell Week
Mm.
from all sorts of people, including other ones. I don't even remember what they are now. Yeah, good times.
Good times indeed.
I missed them.
Did you guys have a good time reading this week's books?
Oh God, did I ever?
Mostly,
Well, that's
considering I just finished them about 30 minutes ago. Kind of
wow,
lazy this week.
Brandon.
Yeah.
I
Well,
finished mine like 3 hours ago.
to be entirely honest, I've been on such a Superman kick lately that I hadn't even looked at the books until this morning. Because I finished rereading Superman and the Legion of Superheroes for the first time in like 6 years, and that book holds up so well for me. And I just unleashed the beast. So I'd basically been reading nothing but Superman for the past 4 days.
Well, you're making Glenn happy as a clam.
Yeah, I would be. I've been reading most of the Triangle era stuff too.
Awesome. Awesome indeed. Well, we got a little Superman to talk about in number 25. Oh, it's the 25th issue. That's right.
Yes.
Special edition. The Flash number 20, Green Arrow number 23, Green Lantern 22, Batman 159, the aforementioned Superman 25, and Justice League Unlimited number 6. Big titles.
Yeah.
Big
Like,
titles.
yeah, it's exciting stuff. Like I said, I can't wait to get into them.
Mm.
But we'll have to wait a little bit because we got other stuff to talk about first, like the honorable mentions.
Oh, shoot. I don't even have them.
That's fine.
Damn. I forgot to even make a list of them.
That's okay. I got them right here. We got Metamorpho the oh my god.
Mm. Every
There's
week,
a
Never-
word exercise.
every
never
time,
gonna
every
stop.
time.
Metamorpho the Elephant Man, number 5.
You did it again.
Just gonna run with it. Nah, I'm not even gonna fight it. It's my brain wants it to happen. So Metamorpho the Elephant Man, number 5. Power
They're
Girl,
doing
number
a
20.
they're doing a showing of the Elephant Man at a theater near me.
Oh,
and I was
yeah.
debating whether or not I should go. I think this is a sign that I'm gonna go.
You should.
You should
cosplay
go
Because
dressed
you
as Metamorpho.
Every
Yeah.
every month, the same thing. Like, this is the clearest sign I could possibly get.
Yeah.
You need to go dressed as Metamorpho and then get pictures with the cast.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll paint my skin white and purple and orange. Get a
Do
big
it.
belt with an M on it.
I feel like you could make the you know the you could make it a shirt.
Why not go all out?
I mean, that's
I
up
don't
to
need
you.
just a shirt. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it all the way.
There you go. Just have to
Oh,
put
so-
on some trunks.
Yeah.
Quit sneezing, Rob.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm sneezing so much. Oh God.
Quit it.
Anyway.
You got the vid.
What?
The vid.
The vid.
Is that what they're calling it these days?
Oh. Wait, what video?
No. Is that
No.
what they're calling it these days? That's what my buddies were calling it around here. Dripping in the vid.
Vid?
Dripping in the vid.
Dripping in the vid. I ain't
Wow.
coming over. I'm dripping in the vid.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Anywho,
I've never
yeah.
heard anyone call it the vid.
No.
It's quite a shock.
Hey, Georgia's different, man.
Nice. So we got Metamorpho, we got Power Girl number 20, Harley Quinn number 50, anniversary issue, Green Lantern Dark number 4, Peacemaker presents the Vigilante and Eagerly double featured number 2, and Superman: The Last Days of Lex Luthor number 3 is finally out. And when this came out, I had to remember if I read issue 2, which I don't think I did. I need to go back and read it. I think I forgot about it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So that's our honorable mentions this week. I have read none.
I haven't read
Yes.
any either. I have been slacking for quite a long
Yeah.
time. But you know what?
Tough.
DC, give us the damn review copies.
Yeah.
I'll get back on those honorable mentions faster than you can say review copies.
I'm surprised. I thought you would have at least read Power Girl.
Oh, I've got them. I just have not squeezed them in yet.
I see.
I've actually taken it easy, and I read the honorable mentions unless I absolutely have to, um, throughout the week. 'Cause,
Well, if you
man, I'm
must read
telling
nothing
you,
else, definitely check out The Last Days of Lex Luthor. I know you've been sort of iffy on Mark Wade in recent months, but
no, but
the
issues one
wait
and
was
two were
definitely worth
great.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like what he was doing in there, or I guess still is now
Mm,
that it's finally out.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
is it what?
well,
Well, well,
Deep
well.
subjects.
what you call them?
A deep subject.
You're a deep subject. Yeah.
There you go. That
Swing and a
worked.
miss there.
Totally landed, buddy.
That's what I
Should we
thought.
go ahead and get into the comic books, or is there
Yeah,
anything else we need to
let's cut
discuss?
out the jokes. I don't think it's working.
You don't think? Interesting. All
You
right.
sure? All right. Well, if we're cutting out the jokes, then I guess we should skip to the first book.
Oh.
Ouch.
Zing.
Ooh.
No, we're
Ouch.
gonna start with the Flash number
Ooh.
20.
But he's not wrong.
Take that as you want.
Take a bow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, let's see what I think. Written by Simon Spurrier, art by Vasco Georgiev, and colors from Matt Herms, with lettering by Hassan Atmani El How, with a cover from damn it, Mike Del Mundo.
There you go.
So I got a few pages in, and I started to think that this might be like a 3-sentence review, and then I got whammied. So here we go. We basically learn that all of the following. We basically learn all of the following while we're going through the story, as the different Flashes talk to AR, a drone sent from the Justice League. So we're all in the aura membrane, which is a place that experiences massive time dilation. Wally has been there fighting a war against heliophage, which is what happens when Eclipso eats Foxy the Flash Dog, who is like a baby Speed Force, and it's been going on for years. But on Earth, it's only been 15 hours, so nobody is even looking for them yet, let alone on their way. And that's a problem. So, a part of Wally's new powers is to split himself into different copies. They call it sharding. Sharding with a D, not a T, just to be
Oh
clear.
my god. Whoa. Can't say
Easy
that.
now.
And he can shard himself about 7,000 times, literally. He could do it more, but then they would lose control of the velocisphere. Velocisphere. Ooh. That's the shield that's around the moon that's been created by Wally in a way that he's not quite sure of yet. Anyway, it's 7,000 of him with the real Wally wearing a black and gold suit. That's kind of cool. Plus Avery, Kid Flash, and Pilgrim, but only one each of them. Plus one Judy Garrick that is his army's general. Their war isn't just with Eclipso, it's also with the villains that Eclipso was given super speed to and souped up their powers as well. It takes a lot to take out the bad guys, and those 7,000 copies of Flash, that's what he produces every day, because that's how many die. In fact, they aren't even meant to live. The copies are living weapons. When they all collide, a massive explosion happens. They use it as their personal version of a weapon of mass destruction, but it's not always successful. In this last battle, at the end of it, after an explosion, one of the Flashes sees Heliophage and sees that Eclipso is struggling to control Foxy. It looks like the union might not be permanent after all. Man, what a horrible situation. You know that question that people ask sometimes, like, if you could have one superpower, what would it be? Never speed. Never, ever super speed. The Flashes are always in deep shit like this. I
I
do
mean, I
love
wouldn't
this
mind
book.
having super speed. I just don't know if I'd want to be connected to the Speed Force, especially not now because it's just a bunch of ridiculous rules that don't make any sense anymore.
Oh, you're
But I'd
right,
still
because the
take
Speed
super
Force
speed in the most
definitely
basic
wasn't that
sense.
before.
I've watched enough Ben 10 to know that being accelerate would be awesome. I need the Speed Force though.
Fair enough. Um, I know that this is, and I mean, I realize that it's hard for some people to follow, it's hard for some people to get into, but I found it to be a good read, and the art is always top notch, like grade A, fantastic. Waiting to see what is on the other side of this for Wally and the rest of the Flash family is driving me batty, but I'm really enjoying the ride there. I gave it an 8.25 out of 10. Whoops. There's the
Oh
Flash.
boy. Yeah. You'd think seeing Wally basically do shadow clone jutsu would be entertaining, but
Shadow Clone
it
Jutsu!
wasn't really.
Well, he didn't do any of the hand signs.
No, I guess he's too cool for that.
Not
Excuse
on
me.
panel.
Now I'm sneezing.
Sorry,
Rob,
I
what did
gave
you
my
give me?
virus.
I knew it was contagious.
Good
He gave
lord.
you a damn computer virus.
I know.
Bit.
I didn't know you could give people the vid through computers, but
No, yep. Well,
Something
you
to
can
see
when
you.
you're dripping in it.
That's.
yeah.
But isn't that what
Um,
YouTube is for?
Oh, gross.
Where's that rim shot? Yeah, I don't know. This is part one of a new
delayed.
story arc, which I thought it was just the same story arc, so I don't really know what the fuck's going on anymore. So yeah, I don't have too much to say about this one, other than I think I'm done. I'm kind of checking out. I'm giving this one a 7.5 out of 10. The art is really cool though.
Yeah.
Wally's suit is not growing on me, but I will admit that some of the effects look really great around the like warping of his suit. But
What did you think
not
about
enough to
what did you
say
think
that.
about Wally Prime's suit?
I mean, it's just all
just
black.
I don't know. I'm like I don't know why they're doubling down on Wally having ridiculously dark colors. It just does not work at all. It's fine as
All right,
like a
well,
stealth suit.
Here's something that I didn't mention in the review that I'm gonna bring up now because of that suit. All right. When Pilgrim popped his head out when they went to go flat when they went to go into a room, he popped his head out and said top secret. And if you looked behind him, you could see what looked like an army of Godspeeds.
Yes.
So I feel like the suit that Flash is wearing is almost like a reverse Godspeed outfit.
Well, wasn't there what was that one character from the organization in Williamson's Flash, Black Hole? I think her name was Mina Dewan. She had like an
Yes.
all black suit too. It was
Yeah.
like the Black Hole Flash suit, but
And
that
one's
actually
kinda
made
nice.
sense because it was siphoned from the negative Speed Force.
Yeah.
This is just like it's not even like a cool emo suit or anything. It's just like all black. With,
It's
you
it's
know.
literally like his current.
It's
suit
all black
without the
with
cowl
all
and all
Yeah.
like
black.
all the yellow shit is gold.
Yeah. They just took
Yeah.
out the red stuff, and I
Yeah.
don't understand why.
Like
I don't
And
think
the
it's
white.
bad design.
The
I just
Flash,
don't
the most
understand
red
why.
superhero ever, is like stripped of his red.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I've been a vocal outcrier since they changed his suit design as to why the fuck did they change his suit design. So this just makes no sense to me.
What do y'all think about the army of Godspeeds?
I'm confused because, and I need to I forgot to actually double check because I was reading it on my lunch break, and my lunch break finished, so I didn't get a chance to go back. Somebody mentioned Godspeed earlier in the issue.
Somebody did and said that the bad guys were creating an army of Godspeeds.
Exactly. Okay, that's what I wanted to check. It was like, was Godspeed on the bad guy side? So, qu'est-ce que fuck?
That's a good question. I guess there's only one way to find out, and that's stay tuned to next month.
Yeah. It's
I'm
like
looking
this
forward to
layer
you.
of
And if you don't
mystery.
mind a deep story, I highly recommend.
It's
Yeah,
I don't
deep.
know if it's deep, but It's a story. I'll give you that.
The only thing
Um,
deep about this story is how deep in its own bullshit it is. But we don't
there,
have to we don't have to hash this out.
I feel like they're
Excuse me.
putting too much
I
emphasis
need
on
to put this
mysteries
on.
right now.
Damn. There.
Complete with the
It's
smoke
deep
and
up its
everything.
own ass. That's what it is.
Now, which one were you, Ice Cube or Chris Tucker?
That was Chris Tucker.
Yeah, Chris Tucker. Okay.
My man, if you need to ask that,
Smokey.
you have not seen Friday enough.
Smokey.
Smokey.
Yeah,
Gazelle, get the hell out of here. Smokey over here taking a shit. I won't tell nobody else.
Yeah, I could see
Oh,
that.
man.
I could definitely see that. Just don't go smoking no angel dust.
Oh my God. End up in the pigeon cage, get fucked with Debo. Nope. That's going to pass on me.
Yeah,
All right. Sorry. I keep interrupting you guys in your reviews.
it's okay.
I'm done. I think it's just Rob who isn't
Yeah.
gonna give it a score yet.
I'll just let you guys have your fun. Don't worry. I'll take a step back from talking about the Flash.
He's like, gladly.
Yeah.
Any
There,
excuse.
there are a lot of mysteries going on in part one. I just feel it might be too many mysteries. Right, so you have what's going on with the army of Godspeeds. Are they good or bad? Why are they on the good guys' base? Why are they also on the bad guys' base? What the fuck is going on? Why is there an army of Godspeeds?
We didn't
Two.
see them in the bad guys' base.
No, but it was mentioned that they're in the bad guys.
Yeah.
That the bad guys
But
were
are
making
they?
an army of Godspeeds. And then they're in the good guys' base.
Are they? Or is Pilgrim up to some fishy shit?
I would want to say no, because he's Wally's son.
I would hope not, but
And he wants to save the universe in the time stream and not destroy it.
man, I've seen enough Doctor Who, read enough Booster Gold and Rip Hunter to know that you cannot trust anybody that lives in timey-wimey shit. You just can't do it.
I don't know, time travelers you absolutely cannot trust, and we will get into that later when we read Green Lantern. But that, I don't know, like Pilgrim, we've already gone through the whole can we trust him, can we not thing in the first story arc of this run, and eventually it was found out that, yeah, we can. Like, he is trustworthy, he only wants to help. And even the stuff where he was untrustworthy, he came around and did the right thing. So it's, I don't know, that would feel kind of a step back on any character development Pilgrim had throughout the first 20 issues.
Unless it was to keep him alive through that so that he could develop those new powers to do something else.
We'll have to see. But yeah, we have the Godspeeds. We have whoever this mystery person is racing around faster than any other Flash, saying, "Dispatch, so and so is happening. Dispatch, this is happening." Nobody's answering the little T sphere as to who the fuck it is.
It's got to be Bart.
It could be Bart. I thought I saw a Jay Garrick helmet on the head, but it could honestly be Bart. The Terror Twins are for some reason Avery and Ace.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they're called the Terror Twins.
Probably because they're there to fuck shit up.
They're there to fuck shit up, but how much are they winning? It's just there's
They're staying alive when all the clones aren't.
much mystery going on, and it just feels like a lot to take in when the last thing we saw was Eclipso eat the dog, become a demigod, and
Want to
that's
steal the moon.
the last thing we saw. And now all of a sudden it's been years that the Flash has been in this hyperspeed war.
15
That's only
hours.
been 15 hours. Well, years to him, right? RT
Unfortunately.
or AT or whatever they called it, relative time. But only 15 hours of Earth time. And the whole time I was reading it about like this is a super speed war, and I'm just thinking, remember when Jeremy Adams did the
Oh my
one,
God, I
the
knew you were
1
gonna
minute
say it.
war? That was
I
fun.
do remember
Yeah.
1 Minute War.
Yeah, that was a fun story arc. Wasn't that long ago either. Yeah. That's all I had to say. 6.5 out of
Yikes.
10. Art's good. It's just, it's heavy. It's thick. It's dripping
It's dense.
with plot.
Yes.
A lot of plot. Plot that doesn't
Too
make
much plot.
sense yet.
It's like, this is not a TV show that I can watch while staring at my phone.
It's not like, I don't even mind that sometimes. It's just like, this is, we had the story arc before ended in a way that you think the next issue is going to pick up where it left off, and then no, you just jump right in the middle of something that supposedly has been years while he's been fighting this thing, and he's gotten fucking nowhere. To the point that he's like, I have to sacrifice clones, and they know they have to die. Just like, that sounds horrible. What is the
Yes.
mental state of Wally West going to be at the end of this? He's been doing this for relatively years. And how have none of the other Flashes died yet? It's crazy.
Because they're the Terror Twins.
They're not the
And
only
Boom
Flashes
isn't
there.
going out into the field. Boom is just the general.
It's crazy to me. It's crazy. But that's me.
Yeah.
I
Less have
don't
to
think
talk
Max
about this book.
Mercury is there. Is Max Mercury there?
They did
Could he
mention
be
Max
the racer?
Mercury,
I
don't
but they
think
called
so.
him Max Mercy, and I don't know if that was
Max
just a typo,
Mercy.
or if that's like
No.
his wartime name.
No, I think that might be his wartime name. It makes
Yeah.
sense. It really
like
makes sense for the character.
Boom is what is it, General Garrick or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Which
really a wartime name, just a title, but
I'll agree with the T-Sphere. That's not who I was expecting when I heard General Garrick.
yeah, I was surprised anyone even remembered her, to be honest,
Yeah.
after the miniseries.
Which, with that in mind, where is Jay Garrick?
Sitting at home relaxing, going, I'm going to leave this shit to the youngerns.
Yeah, or maybe he's in hell if this is taking place
stuck
at the
with
same
Tower of
time.
Fate. That's right.
Yeah, if it's
Flash
taking
and the
place at
Terror
same
Twins.
time as JSA. I don't know.
Could be. Wouldn't that be cool?
Could be. It would make sense. But anyway, that's the Flash. Oh boy, I can't.
I
wait
wish
for
it
issue
wasn't.
21. You know what? The one thing that would make this issue better for me
I'm very curious.
Yeah.
is if he
Why?
just had an all red suit. That's it.
Yeah, that would fix everything.
And not everything. It would just make it better. I would feel better about it.
I don't even know. At least with this like ridiculous suit, I can kind of pretend it's not Wally, or I can whenever the next writer comes along, I can just be like, Wally was going through a weird psychedelic phase, and things didn't really make sense. So
Yeah.
we're just gonna pretend that whole thing was
He was experimenting with
was a weird mind trip.
Yeah.
Walking down the street, he saw a bakery, Googled the reviews, saw 5 stars, went in, got a couple cookies, came out, had a new suit, was talking to aliens that bend space and time, got new powers. Nah, man, those are mushroom cookies.
Yeah.
That
Whole thing was just a weird fever dream.
Irie comes out and she go pop stripping.
Irie comes
That's
out,
called a
it's
callback.
Irie Pop.
It's a callback to Friday. Pop strip. Alright, anyway.
Yeah, I got it.
If issue 21 is anything like this issue, I might just chalk this up to this is the Flash's Jeffrey Thorne period.
Ouch.
Oof.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Can we wait and see how it ends first?
I've gone through 2 story arcs already. It hasn't fucking ended.
Well, that's unfortunate. All right. Well,
At
I
least-
guess
at least with Thorne's Green Lantern, that only lasted 12 issues.
Yeah. If the rumors are to be believed, though, this run may be coming to an end after the 25th issue.
Size
Don't quote me on that. That's
I
not
don't
entirely
dislike you,
true.
dude. But I'm
Yeah. But I think
Oh.
I think there have been signs apparently that, and I need to look into this a little bit more, so I'm not spreading misinformation. But apparently, there's some signs that he may be moving on to other projects. Which good for him. Like I saw, he
Yeah.
just announced a new book with Vanessa Del Rey at
Oh,
Image. Very excited to check that out. I usually enjoy some of his creator-owned stuff, but I've not been enjoying this.
Yeah.
Uh,
If it were any other character, I might enjoy it a bit better. But just
I don't
not
know about
for
any
Wally
other
West.
character.
Not for Wally West. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just it's a little much. But I digress. It's time for something else.
It is.
It is.
Time for
Look.
something
Speaking
a
of-
little more green.
Yeah, of green things. Green Arrow number 23, which I thought was the last issue of this arc, but it's not apparently. There's one more to go, and then we're on to the
Whoop,
next
whoop.
one. Written by Chris Condon with art by Montos, colors by Adriano Lucas, and letters by Hassan Otsmain Elhau. Ollie takes on the Freshwater Killer Army, however you want to call them.
Sure.
Leading the assault and basically going straight into the lion's den as he approaches the Olds Gymnasium to take on the rest of the army head on. They have Detective Benitez trapped at the moment, where one of them, the leader of the Freshwater Killers, is kind of explaining the reasons behind his whole plan and shenanigans. I don't want to call it shenanigans. It's about to kill a cop. It's not a child's prank. But
Up
anyway.
to your dalliances.
Yeah. Before he can drop old Detective Benny into a vat of poisonous water, Ollie is able to fire off an arrow, which startles them and sends them running as the gas as the gas fills the gymnasium.
Smells it.
Smells. I'm coming up with new words today.
I need to smell some snooze
To
snooze.
smell. I combined smell with fill.
Sniff it.
I'm all over the place. I think I smoked the angel dust.
Oh no!
Oh no. Anyway, Green Arrow is able to free Detective Benitez, take down some of the Freshwater Killers before going after the leader, who then rips off his mask and reveals that this whole plot, everything that he's been building towards, was not something that he wanted to do, but he felt so backed into a corner that he had no other options. Ollie's about to give him his whole spiel on justice, but kind of freaks out about the thing and lunges at
Freaking out,
Ollie.
man.
Yeah, throws his mask at him, which then momentarily distracts him as the Freshwater Killer leaps after him and gets the upper hand on Ollie. He's standing on his chest, getting ready to strike, but then Detective Benitez whacks him on the back of the head, which knocks him out. And Ollie, looking at the destruction and all the violence that has happened, just kind of laments the fact that a world that created this is quite awful, and the fact that all of these people felt so neglected and so left behind really speaks more to the problems that created the Freshwater Killers and not so much the killers themselves. And that's where this issue comes to an end. Continues to be absolutely phenomenal. I guess I was a little confused because this does feel like the end of the arc, yet the last part of the issue said to be concluded, so I'm wondering what else they're going to tie up in the final issue. I assume maybe some loose ends, or probably reveal some more backstory on the the freshwater community. But no, aside from that, it feels like it really tied everything together quite neatly. And more than anything, the writing and the character moments in this issue in particular, but throughout the entire arc, but I think especially in this issue, are just continue to be standout. Like, it's clear Condon has such a precise idea of the message he wants to send, and I think that is so impactful. Like, the monologue that Kenny has right before he's basically about to kill Ollie is just like, it just got me. I was like, damn, this is, I don't know how to feel, because it is cool seeing Green Arrow be Green Arrow, but at the same time, like, I get it. I really get where they're coming from, and I don't know, I sympathize with them in the sense that obviously violence is not the right answer, especially when it's taken out on people who are not deserving of it, but at the same time, you can kind of understand how they're justified in it. So it's, I don't know, it leaves me being very conflicted, but I think it did a very good job at that. So yeah, this arc continues to just be absolutely stellar. So gave this one a very strong 8.75 out of 10. And the art, I don't even need to say it. Like it's so incredible. The series is like the best action show not on television.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a way to put it.
Though if this was like a mid-season in the Arrow TV show, would have been
Mm.
fucking amazing.
No.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh
no way
man.
the CW would have done something so dramatic.
No. And if they had, there would have been much more scenes of Ollie and what's her face?
Philosophy.
Not Laurel, Felicity having will they, won't they moments.
Yeah.
And also flashbacks to the island. Because you can't forget that.
Yeah. You know what these freshwater killers remind me of? That day on the
That
island
time I
when
was
I was
on the
alone.
island.
My neighbors were like, "What neighbor? What?"
You know,
I
this
needed some
detective kind of
water, and I
reminds me
found
of
some in a rock, and it was all dirty.
that
And I'm like, I
person I
wish
was
this
with.
was fresh water.
I was alone on an island for 5 years, except for Slade Wilson
And
and
Shadow.
Sarah and Shadow
And Sarah.
and all those mercenaries.
Yeah, that little army,
Yeah.
all alone.
And that time Anatoly showed up and trained me in Russian mob ways. Like, what the f is going on?
But
Anyway.
It's like all these people came and all these people left, and like you didn't catch a ride with none of them.
mm,
No.
Yeah,
I was alone on an island for 5 years, except for year 4 when I was part of Shade. Like,
yeah.
the fuck?
I wasn't
I
really
was in
alone at
Russia.
that point.
Yeah. But they sent me
I was
back
alone
to
in
the
my
island.
mind.
Yeah, honestly, like as much as I loved Arrow, that little cop out when he was like year 5 and he was like in Star
Mm,
City, and
yeah.
then they like sent him back to the island just to be rescued. I'm like, what's the fucking point?
I don't know.
All right, he like had to run. He gets off the plane, runs across the island just to send out a flare. Anyway, that's a different Green Arrow. I'm sorry, I'm still a little salty about
That's
things in
a
that show.
yeah. That's some trauma that you need to
no
work through.
one knows
not-
what it's like
Not the time to trauma,
behind
not
the
the time to trauma
mask,
dump.
man.
Yeah.
But this issue, this story arc, has been really, really good. I really appreciate that this has been the first story arc for Condon. If I remember right, Brandon, it's a throwback to not. Oh my god, the hell's the name of that arc? Jesus.
Which one?
But this is a throwback story to something that happened in the 80s, right?
Oh well, it's a there's a connection to the first Green Arrow miniseries from 1983, but it's not.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, you could read this and have no knowledge
Yeah.
of the whole Horton Chemicals plot, and you'd be fine.
I mean, I never read that miniseries, and I'm perfectly fine.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still like at least it's referencing something from the past and like
Mm,
adding to that in a way,
yeah.
which I think is really cool.
Mm,
Very simple Green Arrow story. This issue went by really quickly. It was basically just one big fight. It was just there was at one point, and I don't remember exactly what point it was, but I was thinking, God, Green Arrow, social justice warrior, fights for justice, fights to save the people, and
mm.
like, yeah, I get what he's saying, but at the same time, he's fighting against the people he's trying to fight for. It's just it feels so hard for Ollie to deal with.
Yeah. That's
Right?
why it's so compelling to read, I think,
Yeah.
because you have a lot of those moments where Ollie's like, "I get it, I,
Yeah.
I understand." There's a line in here where I think he says something like you killed the executives and billionaires. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
All right.
is it really? Oh,
Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense for
I did
Ollie,
that
but I
once
was like,
when I was
oh,
younger.
yeah, I had to do a double take. I was like, wait, and then I remember what
okay.
book I was reading. But yeah, but that's I think what makes it so compelling is because he's so conflicted. He's like, I get it, and if this were another life, I would be on your side, but I can't be because of what you've done and the other people you've put in harm's way,
Yeah.
and that really cuts deep.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate that it went that way, but it is hella good story. I imagine the last issue might be Ollie helping them get the justice that they deserve,
Mm,
right? Legally,
yeah.
legal
At least
justice.
acknowledgement, yeah. Something.
Yeah, because the big fights happen. He's taken down the perpetrators, and what's left to do but actually
Mm,
get these people some proper justice.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, no, this and it's Montos doing the art. I love Montos.
Yeah.
Um,
Six
so
whole issues. Not a fill
yeah,
in. It's incredible. This guy
yeah,
is a machine.
right,
Like I legitimately forgot for a second he did all 12 issues of Green Lantern War Journal
right,
without a delay for
and they
12
were
months.
fantastic.
And they were incredible. Each
Yeah,
one was better than the last.
yeah,
That's
Mm-hmm.
insane.
yeah. Well, this is gonna get a 9. Yeah, fuck it, 9. I was just thinking maybe I should do an 8.75 because it was a very simple issue. It was just basically
Mm,
one big fight. But then I'm thinking, like, even though it was one big fight, all the little conversations were little nuances of the plot. I'm just like,
mm.
damn, it's a deep fight.
Yeah, you're
It's
making me
got
want to change my score. I give it an
yeah,
8.75.
yeah,
Man, the story's just damn sad.
it
I
is.
mean, not the quality, the story itself. I mean, you really, or I do anyway. I really feel for the people in the book because, I mean, there's actual real people, real towns that this happens to, and that's horrible.
Yeah.
And
You used to live in Flint, you
unfortunately,
said.
there's a chance we're going to be seeing that happen again.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Yeah,
with relaxed environmental regulations here in the in the
yeah,
U.S. That's not good. It's sad, but the art, man. Montos is Montos is Montos. Know what I mean? I mean,
hmm,
it's awesome. It's it's like Zermanico or Dan Mora. You know going into it, it's going to look good.
yeah,
Always nice to look at. The book is
Mm,
pretty dark and grim looking, so the coloring's a bit different from the books that we've had leading up to Condon's run, and it works so good for this Green Arrow. How sad it is. That speaks to the quality of the writing. If the writing isn't good, you're not going to get invested. If you don't get invested, you're not going to give a shit. And I give a shit. This was really good. 8.5 out of 10.
yeah.
nice. I will say, I would not be upset if the next story arc was a little more lighthearted. I know that would be a pretty big tone shift, and I get it. It probably wouldn't make sense. But honestly, one of the hardest parts of reading the Mike Grell run on Green Arrow was just it got to a point where it's like this is so fucking depressing. Like every story arc is just the worst of humanity, and I got to like issue 30 or something. It's like I just want to jump in a lake. Like this isn't fun to read at all. I mean, it's really good, but it's sad because
Yeah,
every other story arc is like Ollie fights a rapist, Ollie fights a serial killer, Ollie fights like a sex trafficker, Ollie takes down a slave ring, and I'm like, oh my god, these
yeah,
people are horrible.
yeah.
Just make me feel something that's not misery for one issue, please.
I do have a feeling Chris Condon's got a plan to not exactly like
Uh,
copy, but almost emulate the
mm.
Mike Grell run
Oh
in a
boy.
way.
Okay, well,
And
There'll
I'm
be
looking
a
forward to be
flat. There'll be
depressed
a
every month.
there'll be an Arrow family book coming up soon enough.
I
awesome.
Issue,
just
I
need
mean,
something to
not
That'd be
balance
book.
it
cool.
out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just so it's not like it's
Yes.
miserable every
The
month.
Arrow family, written by Chris Condon. There's a murder so big, the
Oh
Arrow family have to
Lord,
get together and solve this crime as a family.
I'm
that actually does
down.
sound awesome, but would probably still
Mm.
be very depressing.
Yeah, no, the murder happened because of suicide or some shit. I don't
Mm.
know. I'm trying to make up something very depressing, but I can't think of it.
Ugh.
Are you serious?
It's a
You don't
murder
know what it would
suicide.
be in a Green Arrow book?
No, I just can't think of something on the spot that Brandon
Oh
hadn't
yeah.
already said.
No,
Oh, a kid
please,
dying.
people are gonna think I'm like making this hyperbolic or something. I'm not even kidding. The first story arc, the first two issues, are about put a content warning here, but it's literally like an escaped child rapist gets out of prison and decides to go check in on his old victim who's about to testify. That's the first issue of Green Arrow. So imagine it's 1988 and you're reading issue 1. You're like, oh boy, Green Arrow has an ongoing series. I'm going to check it out. And then you read it and you're like, I hate everyone. Like, this is so miserable.
Yeah.
Well, see, it's those books that kind of like, I mean, for people like me who grew up the way that I did, hella religious and very restricted, getting those comic books and having that kind of like snuck in past the cover, it was like how I got exposed to the real world and like the things that matter. So good for those.
I'll take mine in small doses. Thank you very much. I don't know, it's just how I am. It's the same thing when I read Preacher too.
Once every 6 issues, I need chili.
Yeah. No, literally, it's like I can't. You do that successively, it just makes you feel depressed.
Yeah. That's why I haven't finished Preacher. Exactly what you said. I have volume 1, and I went to read it. I'm just like, I wanted to read all of this, but
oh my god,
I just don't
you
feel
gotta
good.
He's like, you gotta take a break. You just gotta.
Yeah.
You gotta.
Like, I got to Ass Face, and I'm just like, all right,
yeah.
time to put this down.
oh man,
God forbid you ever read
poor
the
Ass
origin.
Face.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
Ass
a
Face.
one
Poor
shot that
Ass
goes
Face,
all
man.
into his backstory, and it's just like it's miserable. It really is miserable.
Yeah.
He has one friend, and I won't spoil it, but yeah, it's like
you can spoil away.
yeah, there's like one friend who ends up basically killing himself, and the whole issue is just him feeling guilty for the fact that he didn't end up successfully killing himself. I'm like, what? I just wanted to read something that was funny. I didn't want to read something that's gonna make me cry and feel miserable for the rest of the week.
I don't want to feel things but
I
joy.
want to feel thing, but joy and happiness.
Yes.
I want to be like, yeah, Green Arrow, not
Well, then I suggest you start reading the What If Disney books.
Yeah.
maybe I should. Yeah.
They're
I did read
good
the
fun.
I did read the Sonic Justice League crossover, and that was very fun.
It's actually
was, like,
quite
bright
interesting.
smiles.
I still got to read
Yeah.
the second issue, but like, it's got the lightheartedness of the Sonic comics with the action of the Justice League comics.
Yeah.
Multiverses was pretty good too, and I know you guys would enjoy all the characters that showed up into there.
I don't have to play the game to understand it, do I?
Nope, not at
It's
all.
Too late now, anyway. The game's defunct.
Oh. Lol.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
never mind
they
then.
scratched the brain 'cause they did that wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
They
got Marvel rivals.
they fucked up bad.
To
Yeah.
fill
So
the
far,
hole
Marvel
in
Dang,
Rivals
it was
is
the
not doing
character
bad.
rotation and shit.
Oh, it was the character rotation. It was the hitbox. It was the speed of the game. It was the gameplay.
Oh
It was the
God.
balancing issues. It's the fact that they took it out of beta to fix up the game based off the feedback. Took a year and then changed nothing.
Well, it didn't make any
That's
improvements
miserable.
worth that you could notice in any case. But enough about the depressing.
Yes.
Shall we bring
Are you
ourselves...
depressed about multiverses?
No.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
No.
I have
I got
Marvel
over that. I was like, what, a week into playing, and I was like, man, fuck this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was having fun playing as the Iron Giant until I got shit on by Shaggy. What the fuck is
Yep.
going on? This makes no sense. I'm a literal golden god, and you're fucking Ultra Instinct Shaggy whooping my ass. Fuck off.
You're the golden
Zoink.
god. You're the golden god.
The golden god. My rage knows no bounds.
There's no bounds.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Green Lantern.
Green Lantern.
My favorite
like
chain
a-
restaurant.
Say, like
Red Robin
the-
even exist anymore?
Like the.
That gets
it's like
shut
I'm
down, too.
sure. Maybe
I
not.
think so.
Maybe not.
People still go to not Arby's. People still go to Applebee's. They're basically
Yeah.
the same.
Wait, y'all still have
Applebee's and
Applebee's?
what's the other one? Chili's.
Chili's.
Yeah.
God.
I want my baby back,
And
baby
Cheddar's.
back, baby back, baby back, baby
I don't think
back.
I've ever been to
Babs.
Cheddar's. I know it exists, but
You should go, dude.
are they? Is it like the same as Chili's? Because I think I've already been.
No. Not quite. I would say that like it's like if they made Applebee's and Chili's like upscale,
I
like
see.
an upscale version of what
An
that would be.
upscale version of Applebee's.
Yeah, it's
Oh my
pretty good.
God.
I enjoy it.
Upscale Applebee's.
Don't forget to get
sounds
the
like
cheddar
any
biscuits.
family restaurant.
Get
That's
get
like,
the cheddar biscuits.
That's
what
a
is it,
low bar. You're
Cheesecake
setting there,
Factory or
Josh.
something.
Oh, fuck. Cheesecake Factory is like high end up here.
I tell you, you can't
It's
go to the
expensive.
Cheesecake
Cheesecake
Factory
Factory?
because
Wow.
Pricey.
you're
Oh my
going for
God.
dinner, and to go to dinner, you got to read a whole goddamn book, and that's crazy.
How much is a plate for Cheesecake Factory compared to like Applebee's for you guys?
I mean, it depends, but
I haven't been to Cheesecake Factory.
yeah, I
in
mean,
so
usually
long.
it's no more than like you could get a burger or something and fries for probably no more than 20. I mean, it's been a few years since I've been, but I never remembered it being like crazy expensive. Definitely more expensive than than an Applebee's or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's not true. They might actually be around the same price, but
Maybe it's just because this one's attached to the bougie mall.
that could be it. Yeah.
Yeah, and they figure they can jack the prices up.
Mm. But yeah,
Perhaps.
that's what I would think of like upscale
Yeah.
Applebee's Cheesecake Factory. Well, it is pretty good. Not
You
gonna
should
lie.
ask Dave Sharp to write a letter.
I should.
I see what
Alright,
you
enough.
did
Talk.
there. Yeah, so we're gonna get into this issue. Yeah, I'll do it backwards. This is lettered by Dave Sharp. With colors from Remy Fajardo Jr., art and cover from Zermanico, and written by Jeremy Adams. I was gonna say writer by Jeremy Adams.
Writer.
This is written by Jeremy Adams. Right, so we open up where we left off last issue at the DEO headquarters on planet Earth.
Holy shit.
Why am I blanking on names again? Hector Hammond.
There you go.
Has
How
his
can you
powers
forget
back.
that?
Well,
name?
in your defense, he's not
No,
looking
just-
quite like the Hector Hammond we usually know.
Is it?
This is very true.
I keep wanting to call him Samuel Stearns.
Short, pudgy Sinestro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The leader has shown up on DEO
Right.
headquarters.
Yeah.
No, so Hector Hammond is back with his mind powers. I don't remember where he got them. He
I
stole
think
someone's
it said
powers.
like he was trying to get him back to full capacity or something.
Yeah, but his last issue, I think he like took someone's abilities.
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah.
mind bomb, mind power, whatever that
mind
dude's
bomber.
name was.
Yeah, mindfucker, Martian
Mind
mindfucker.
fucker.
Not the Martian mindfucker. Different book.
Da comrade. All right, so yeah, he's back with his mind powers, and he's throwing all sorts of military equipment at Dove, Green Lantern, and Star Sapphire.
Holy shit.
The trio are doing what they can to take him down, and Star Sapphire is able to get the upper hand with some constructs of her own, distract him, while Dove goes in to try and take him down. But Hector has an ace up his sleeve. Since he can't control the heroes, he can control his teammates in the DEO. So that poses a threat for our intrepid heroes.
Including, I laughed when I saw this because I thought I was dreaming, and also it was the weirdest coincidence ever. But Agent Liberty is there,
Yeah.
and I was like
Holy shit.
I didn't
literally,
even know he was in the
I
DEO.
had just read that Agent Liberty one-shot issue from Dan Jurgens like 4 days ago during Superman Day. So I was like, what the fuck? Is this another one of those I made it happen moments? He didn't do anything, so
No, he just stood there.
he just posed.
Yeah. He's just staring menacingly.
Yeah.
I can't tell who the other two people
He's looking at me.
I think it's
Behind Bones.
Nightshade and Tigor
Nightshade.
from the
Oh, yeah, Tigor.
Omega
and
Men?
whatever the
I
big
don't know.
red guy is. I don't know. Anyway, they eventually get the upper hand. Dove is able to blind Hector Hammond using a solar flare, and Carol Ferris fills his heart with love. That saves the day. They're able to
Through
restrain
the power of
Hector.
friendship.
Director Bones now snapped out of it.
We gotta
Goes to
talk
Hal
about
and
G.I.
says we
Joe.
should talk.
after this. I don't know if you guys read the latest issue of G.I. Joe. Or
No,
probably
but
not
I've
Josh.
seen a spoiler.
Yeah. Oh my god. Well, that spoiler, but also you said that, and it reminded me of how much because I like just read it earlier today, and how much it reminded me of like an 80s cartoon where it literally has a moment at the end where Duke is like, I feel like I couldn't really trust my team at first, but now that we've been through a mission together, I can really trust them. I was like, oh my god, it's the most Saturday
The
morning
more
shit.
you know.
It's like, it's G.I. Joe, I guess, but sorry. I
Cue,
didn't mean to
cue
interrupt.
Transformers a movie theme song.
You got the touch.
Yes.
All right, so Director Bones goes over to Hal, says we need to talk. So the two of them and Star Sapphire go to a DEO conference room, and Bones opens up with his usual legal jargon, and then Hal says, "Let me stop you right there, buddy. Whatever jurisdiction you have, you're down here. I'm up here. I patrol rather the entire freaking sector. So your authority you have no authority in Fort Kickass." Is basically what he's trying to say. And threatens to take him to jail if he doesn't like stop doing what he's doing and just stop this nonsense with Hector. Plus, I need a key. If you can give me that little bit of help. That key is apparently a key to hell. Who would have guessed it? And the door to hell is in Ireland at St. Patrick's Purgatory, where he is joined by Zoriel and the Phantom Stranger.
Holy shit.
Yeah. The trio
What a team
open
up.
this door to hell, and they go straight in, and in behind them waltzes Sorrow. Nathan Sorrow. In hell, the trio are walking around, trying to find their way around because hell's a big place. But out from the shadows, with a torch, comes an old familiar face of Hal's.
I'm sure you were smiling.
Oh, was I ever? But at the same time, thinking this can't be right. It's good old Gnort.
Good
Why
night.
why is he in
How's it
hell?
going? How's it going,
That's a good
Gnart?
question.
Why is he in Earth Hell? See, I'll get into that after. We also have a side story with Kyle, Superboy, and Odyssey.
Yes.
Yes, keep forgetting her name. They are
Sexist.
on. Huh?
Oof.
What's sexist?
I mean, she's a fairly new
I'm just
character.
fucking with you.
Yeah. Oh, that I didn't remember her name.
Yeah.
Fuck yourself, buddy. Call me. I like her. All right. She's a fun character.
Go fuck yourself, you silly fucking butt crust.
Ouch.
Silly fucking butt crust.
Silly fucking butt crust, yeah. They are still on Reach Outpost Omega trying to get their hands on some nth metal, but they had come across in our last issue a man chained to a wall. Odyssey is able to free him, and then they ask what his name is, and weakly he says Dan Garrett.
Dun dun dun. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a holy shit.
That is
I have
a
some
very holy
questions.
shit moment. Yeah. Then the Reach forces start to arrive.
That one's really loud.
And really long.
Yeah. No
Just get
shit.
like a
9
like
seconds.
a short one.
Yeah. That's a long and loud clap.
Yeah. So the Reach forces start to arrive. Superboy and Kyle head out and take on the army. Odyssey, meanwhile, tries to get Dan out of harm's way. However, between the outpost and the ship is the giant freaking fight. So they go back inside and try to find another way around. Dan then sees a scarab floating in an orb, reaches out to it, and says, Kaji Shah, not Kaji Da. This scarab, which is silver instead of blue, latches onto him and even makes Odyssey a little sick with how it's doing. And then he heads out into the fights, saves Superboy and Kyle from a whole bunch of bad guys as he shows up as the Silver Scarab. Another holy shit moment.
Yeah.
Indeed.
3 holy shit moments in this issue alone.
More like 7.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's Dan name dropping. That is Dan Garrett. He
I was not expecting that.
comes back as Silver Scarab instead of Blue Beetle, and Gnort is in Hell. But I guess also Hal needs the key to Hell for whatever reason. Next issue is going to be the Hal versus the Spectre for some reason. Also, Zoriel's there. Holy shit! And Phantom Stranger. Holy shit!
Right?
And he's doing something. He's not just standing there talking like he's the stranger.
Found Dan Garrett. Holy shit. Dan Garrett's alive. Holy shit. He's the Silver Scarab. Holy
Holy
shit.
shit.
What?
Yeah. The fuck's going on? There's so much going on, but I love it. There's a lot of cool moments. But I'm gonna talk about Gnor for a second. How is he in Earth Hell? Why is he in any hell? How is he in hell? Because I didn't know he was dead. Which leads me to believe that this is not Gnort.
Yeah, that seems likely.
Yeah. Which would be a shame because I would love to see Gnort pal around for a little bit in this book, but I really don't think this is Gnort. I think it's like some demon trying to play a trick on Hal.
When would have been the last time that we would have seen him alive? Because that I can't really.
Core got wiped out.
I want to say the Jeffrey Thorne run.
Okay.
What run?
That run.
That one, that of which we do not speak.
Yeah.
Did you say Jeffrey Thorne wrote a Green Lantern series?
Yes. No, I
Ugh. This joke is getting old.
didn't. Yeah. Oh,
He's not.
it's getting as old as Dan Garrett.
Dan
Well,
Garrett,
maybe
yeah,
not,
no,
because
that's
he's
why he's
looking
the Silver
pretty
Scarab.
pretty young in
he's
this
pretty
one.
spry, yeah.
Yeah.
For a man that was alive in the 1930s.
Well, that's the thing that I can't really wrap my head around, because with Dan Garrett, I don't even know what is and what is not in continuity. But the last time
Well-
I can remember seeing Dan Garrett at a point when he would have been alive would have been that 80s Blue Beetle run. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when they go
What's that
back to
for,
Pago, when they go back to Pago Island, where Dan had originally died the first time, that's where they see that he was alive, but then ends up dying in that series again too.
Yeah.
But was young then, like should have been old in the 80s, but was young then too. So maybe
But-
it does make sense. I don't know.
in volume 5 of Blue Beetle from 2023 wasn't Ted looking for Dan? Wasn't that part of where Ted took off to? He was looking for Dan Garrett?
I don't
Well,
know
I
if they
feel
said
like
he was
this
looking
is-
for Dan Garrett. I think he was just I don't know, he was just doing something in time, because all I remember from that issue where they were looking for Ted throughout time was they couldn't figure out where he was, and then they find him, and then he's like, Jaime, you need to go, and then he just kind of disappeared. And
I could have swore he
Damn, I
was looking
forgot
for
about that
Dan
entire
Garrett.
thing.
All right, anyway.
I wonder if that's ever going to get addressed again.
yeah. Well, but he just showed up for like a panel in Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah.
Too, as
I mean,
like
he's
a
been
bit,
working up
so,
there. He's
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's been
we've
working
seen
with
him a
Jaime.
lot.
Yeah.
Look,
Well,
I think
him
for
and
that
Jaime are
question
on
to
the
be
satellite.
answered, you'd need a Blue Beetle series. But that ain't gonna happen.
No,
So,
not anymore. Damn shame. That was a great book.
I know.
Hell, maybe we'll get a Silver Scarab series, and that'll be answered.
Maybe.
Written by Jeremy Adams.
Yeah. Or honestly, just do a Blue Beetles series, plural, or
Yes.
Beetles, and then
That'd
they
be
can have Dan
fine.
Garrett, Jaime Reyes, and
You didn't
Ted
get
Cord.
Josh Trujillo back because he freaking
Yeah.
killed that book. It was
He
so
did.
good.
I worry that he's not too, or I would hope that he's not too demoralized after that series got canceled way too soon.
Yeah.
Way too soon.
Oh god, yeah. It was such a good book. Yeah. I mean, I would hope that he'd have some happiness based on the fact that it came from a 6-issue miniseries that didn't even win a contest.
Yeah. Well,
Right?
it did. didn't it? Or was it the runner-up? I can't even remember.
Yeah, I think it was sort of maybe not a runner-up, because the first year was the Robbins book, the second year was
Yes.
Superboy.
Mm.
What wasn't that the first Blue Beetle miniseries?
What?
What was it
Graduation
called?
Day?
Homecoming or no?
Graduation Day.
Graduation Day.
Yeah, Blue Beetle was in the first round robin, but Robbins is the one that won.
Right,
I
but the
don't
one that was in there
remember.
was
That's
Graduation
that's
Day,
why
right?
I
Yeah,
want to say that
Graduation Day
was.
was in the first one. The
Yeah,
first
Right,
that's
round
why I
so
robin.
want to say
this
that was
one,
the
yeah.
runner-up.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was the runner up or if it was just like one of the most requested in all the comments of like, yeah,
But
no, give us like this book because
but
like
yeah,
every people in comment sections all over DC social media were like, just publish them all, you cowards. And
We were saying that Kirk and
yeah,
I were like, fuck this like March Madness bullshit. Like
yeah,
the pitches are all there, just put them out,
yeah.
even if they're digital only.
Most of these pitches look freaking amazing.
There was a Kyle Rayner pitch with V. Ken
Yep,
Marion that looked incredible.
it
There
really
was a
did.
Jesse Quick book from Stephanie
Yep,
Williams and David LaFuente that was also incredible. Like all of these, there was that like old man John Stewart book that also looked
yep.
really good. Just nothing.
I'll even say the Hawk book sounded slightly interesting as
Yeah.
well.
Oh yeah, yeah. I totally forgot
Yeah,
about that. Yeah.
because it maybe promised to actually give us concrete timelines of what their fucking history is.
Ugh. Well, if you read the Hawkman book from 2018, you might have a better sense of that. But you
But
refuse.
did it finish it? Did it complete it?
Well,
Is
that's
it
your
does it make
fault.
sense yet?
I want to
Well,
go
who
back and
knows?
look at some of those round robin pitches because I kind of
Yeah,
forgot
and then just
a good
jump
chunk
on
of them.
DC social media and start
Oh,
blasting them
man.
with, "Where's this book? Where's that one?" V. Ken
Oh
Marion
wow.
is still talking about Green Lantern,
Oh man. Yep.
and I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm glad he was at least able to draw that one issue of Green Lantern, the fractured core, fractured spectrum.
Fractured Spectrum.
Fractured
Yeah,
Spectrum.
the one that just
Yeah.
came out.
Yeah.
But that book looked awesome.
Yeah,
Kilowog and Kyle. It would have been great.
would have been so great.
The world wasn't ready.
We were ready. DC wasn't ready for making all that money, apparently. Anyway, Green Lantern, stellar issue, very interesting stuff. I'm not used to seeing Hector Hammond with a normal-sized head and mind powers. That really kind of fucked with me. But really cool to see Adams doing his take on all these classic villains. I really like it. He's bringing some weight to the Green Lantern stories, to the universe, where it's not just like, here's another ring based villain for you to fight. Which, kudos to Jeff Johns, that's like one of the best runs of Green Lantern ever still, and changed the mythos wildly and gave us so much content, stories. But then that's what everybody wanted to do for 10 years, was just write about all these other Lantern Corps. It got a bit much. And then we got Jeremy Adams is like getting us back to basics. There are Earth-based villains. There are other villains in the universe that don't have rings, and that's fine. And I'm all for it. It's cool to see.
Yeah.
So I love the art. Zermanico is one of my favorites. The story between Hal and Kyle, really cool stuff. I can't even decide which one I like more between the two stories. I think I like Kyle's just a little bit more because it's very Indiana Jones, and he's got Connor by his side, and the rambunctious pair are just so much
It is
fun
a
to
great
read
duo.
together. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
really good duo.
Whoops. I don't know why that did that.
That's okay.
It was not
definitely
supposed
deserved
to.
applause. Don't worry, I get it. Yeah. So this issue is going to get it's getting a 9 as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, there's not a lot that I can say that y'all didn't already touch on. It's really good. This is a cool book too. Even better if I'm right about there being a Ted and Dan connection from the previous Jaime book. But regardless, it's a good one. It's cool seeing them expanding Carol's powers a little bit. That's cool. Having more confidence in what she's doing. Hot take. I wish they would call her something other than Star Sapphire. Like, I get that she's from the Star Sapphire
mean-
Corps, but they just call her Star Sapphire. Everybody else is like Lantern Hal Jordan or Atrocitus. There's nobody that's just going by Yellow Lantern. Except for Star Sapphire.
I mean, Star Sapphire, or Carol rather, is like the Star Sapphire.
Yeah, she's really the only.
Like,
and at
bef-
that
before
that
there was
time-
even a core, yeah, that was
Yeah.
just it just was the Star Sapphire. I feel like that's kind of that's what makes it work. She's the definitive Star Sapphire, if you will.
And in the panel you're referencing, she also called Hal Green Lantern. And I think at that point they were just doing code names, which did feel a little out of place because there was nobody around them that didn't already know their code names except for members of the DEO maybe. But I think she did get called Carol at some other point.
I just
Like-
meant in general, her
Yeah.
hero name. Like, I feel like there could be something better than Star Sapphire.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like what?
I don't know. It
I
just
don't
works
know.
for me.
I flat out, even in my name, I said I have no ideas for it right now, but I've never liked it. It's weird that her name is the name of the Corps. But regardless, anyway, I really enjoyed
The
this
Corps
issue.
was named after
it's
her.
8 out of 10.
Yeah, that's funny to me because the core was a recent edition.
really named after her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like if
And
you
it
had
should flip
known
around.
if you'd known Green Lantern, or if you'd been reading Green Lantern rather, like just regularly, the only Star Sapphire you would have known would have been Carol, if I'm
Carol.
not mistaken.
Yeah.
That's the only one I know of, but I mean,
There's
I
Miri,
still feel
there's
like
Fatality,
Yeah.
there's Crib, that one issue. There was John in that future issue.
so
Yeah.
so it tracks that she could have a name different than Star Sapphire.
Well, they
She-
were all part
she
of the core, but
Could,
yeah.
but like that's like the code name for that's like all the
Yeah.
Green Lanterns are called Green Lantern.
But she's not called Star Sapphire Carol.
No,
I mean, there also
But-
aren't any Star Sapphires right now. So
yeah, but they
she's
also like
literally the only one left.
when a
that's
Green Lantern goes to another planet, they don't say, "Oh, there's Green Lantern Arcus Chummock." They just say, "There's
Yeah.
Green Lantern." Right? This is the Green Lantern for our sector. I don't know his name,
Yeah.
but his name's Green Lantern. Right?
I mean, most of them know their name.
I mean, people on other planets, like between the
Yeah, if
core,
you're-
yeah, like the
yeah.
comrade, the other Green Lanterns will know each other's names, but like
If they're showing up
people
to
on
like stop
Earth,
an ecological
people on another
disaster
planet
or something,
aren't going to
yeah.
know someone's name is Kilowog. They're just going to say he's got a Green Lantern uniform. He's a Green Lantern, right? I get what you're saying. It's a bit of a mouthful.
I think
It
I
is.
yeah I hear where you're coming from, but I think
Yeah.
it just works because there really is. I mean, yes, there have been other Star Sapphires, but there really is no other Star Sapphire you think of more than Carol Ferris.
Yeah.
Maybe Fatality, but even that's a recent thing too.
I
Because
don't like
Fatality
to think
for
about Fatality as a Star
Yeah.
Sapphire.
yeah, that's like
So- that's a dumb
Fatality
idea.
for most of her Fatality for most of her time was just an interstellar assassin on a
Yeah.
vengeance quest.
that
So
wanted to hunt Green Lanterns, and then
yeah.
here she
And then
is
here
as
she
a
is
Star
wearing a lantern
Sapphire.
ring.
Falling
to
in
the
love
best
with
of
the
us.
guy that killed her planet, and then what?
Yeah.
She was a Durlin the whole time.
Oh my god.
Fatality.
Which also makes no fucking sense because if you read Green Lantern number 20 and they show the future timeline, John literally
There's
marries
John with
Fatality.
Fatality.
So I guess he married a Durlin.
Well, no, because they've broken up since then, and she never showed up.
Dirty, dirty.
She's just
oh.
long gone. That Durlin
Well, it-
is dead, and
I'm-
the real
I'm
Fatality
wondering,
wants
like,
nothing to do with him because
In
that's how
in
it
that
should have always
future,
been.
in that future, did John marry the Durlin Fatality or was that the real Fatality?
It's the
Yeah, that's a
Durlin.
good point. It could be the real Fatality.
Like
There is only Durlin.
For some reason.
just I very stupid reveal.
I mean, either way, I hated it. I fucking hated it. At the time, I thought, whoa, this is cool and interesting and new. And then I read more about Fatality in the 90s. I'm like, wow, this is dumb and stupid. This makes no sense.
People feel that way about Grail too, and it pisses me off. But
About
anyway,
Grail? Why do they feel that
Yeah.
way about Grail?
say again.
People even care about Grail?
Exactly.
It's not
I
like
don't think
Grail was a retcon on an
Yeah.
entire character's history. Grail was just a new addition to Amazonian mythos.
Which people
Although I
thought
guess
was
in
bullshit.
Fatality's defense, this is where things get very muddy because they never really established whether or not the Fatality that was captured and put in the like diamond chrysalis, the pink chrysalis or whatever, was a Fatality, and then there was also a Durlin, or that one was the Durlin the whole time, and the real Fatality was just out there.
Well, the
What if it's
real,
always
the
been
real
a Durlin?
fatality was captured.
Right. If it
She
was
was
the
freed by
real
John
one.
later.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause
So
I
the,
was
the
wondering.
one that was in the sapphire chrysalis was like
Yeah.
the Durlin.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But wait, that doesn't even make sense.
It's a whole
It's always
secret
been a
invasion
Durlin.
thing. Right? It's
There
it's
is
a whole
no real. There is no
yeah.
real fatality. It's
it
always
was
been a Durlin.
dumb thing.
It's like, wait, that makes no sense. How would they not know?
Who?
The Star Sapphires, that they would have entertained it for that long. And also, why is it Durlin posing as Fatality in the first place anyway?
Welcome to all the
'Cause
Lantern
it's
fans
not-
reading that
it's-
book.
Like, what was the point?
There
There's
was no
nothing-
point.
There was-
intergalactically wanted criminal. There's
Yeah.
no advantage to posing as her.
I think
I
it
guess
had to do with
to
the Durlin
infiltrate the-
invasion of Oa.
Right, yeah, to
But
infiltrate the
it's
core, but like
still stupid.
so you're telling me you had this
Always been
elaborate
there.
scheme to get captured by the Star Sapphires on the off chance that maybe you would be reformed enough so that you could work with Jon Stewart so that maybe he might fall in love with you so he would trust you enough to like tell you secrets about Oa? Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Not. Oh yeah. No.
You could have just
Hit
just
the money
posed
right
as
on
a
the
Green
head.
Lantern. Why
Yeah.
not do that?
Yeah. Boudica wasn't doing
Anyway.
anything at the time.
Yeah. Also, she might have been like
Dead.
still a robot or something.
I don't remember if the Alpha Lanterns ever got changed back. I think they
so.
died.
Yeah.
Beep boop.
Yeah, no, it was really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So
The
stupid.
less I think about that, the better.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say about this issue, I'm gonna addendum my score to 9.25.
Nice.
Just because I'm so stoked about that Dan Garrett reveal.
It's pretty cool.
Well, right on then.
Did you both give your scores?
I did. I gave it an 8 out of 10.
No. Okay.
If I did not, I will give it 8.5 out of 10. If only because there was the most out-of-pocket mention of Wally West in the issue, and that alone bumped up the score by half a point for me. They're in the middle of fighting these giant bugs, and the first thing that comes to mind for Kyle after years of being in the Green Lantern Corps is at least Wally isn't here to make fun of me.
Yeah.
After all you've been through, you're still hung up on that.
Yeah. Hey, great friends last a long time.
I guess so.
Yeah. They weren't at first, but they became great friends.
Sadly,
Eventually.
we haven't even seen them together since Wally's been back, which is such a letdown.
Yeah. We just need another Flash Green Lantern, like, giant size. 3 stories, 3 generations, make it happen.
As long as the current team on Flash does not write it, I shudder to think what would happen to Kyle Rayner in the middle of whatever Wally's going through right now. It's gonna turn into a giant spider or something.
What if it's him or oh shit, what's his face that did the Earth 3 book?
Oh, dear God.
Andy Schmidt?
The most recent Earth 3 book, War on Earth 3.
I don't
Or
remember
whatever
what
it's
his
called.
name is. Was that Tim Sheridan?
Yeah, Tim Sheridan.
I wouldn't mind that so much. Because he did other stuff I liked. He did the.
I mean,
Alan
I didn't
Scott
mean
book,
that
and that was
shitty.
really
I
mean,
think
only
that
that.
he writes. I think that he writes like Family Good.
good. Yeah.
Just the story in Earth 3 itself was shitty.
Yeah. I was gonna
Anyway.
say, I'll
Hopefully.
give you a monkey's paw on that wish, Brandon. You can have your book not written by the current Flash team, but it will be drawn by Mike Deodato.
Ah,
Work with
a
me
bitter
here.
pill to swallow. But it could be worse. Could you imagine a Flash book drawn by Riley Rosmo?
I mean, could it?
You'd
Could
never
it be
know what
worse?
was
Better
going
than
on.
Deodato.
Yeah, I'm like the first reunion of Kyle and Wally in like 15 years, and it's drawn by Mike Abs Diodato. I think I would cry. I genuinely would.
Mike, what's that muscle, Deodato?
Yeah. Mike, I don't trace from movie
Or
stars.
Riley,
Diodato.
I can't tell which Lantern or Flash that is, Rosmo.
Mike,
Uh,
these shoulders are bigger than.
Give me
any
extra
Rob
abs
Liefeld drew
over
Deodato.
non-human proportions any day.
I'm okay with something a little cartoony if it doesn't look hyper Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I don't ever
Rosmo is not
I
a
don't-
little
I don't
cartoony.
ever want to see Kyle Rayner drawn by Mike Deodato.
No.
I
No,
think
please
that would,
no.
that would break me. Can you imagine the crab mask? It would cover his entire face.
Oh my god. I don't even like V.
Oh my god!
Marion's
Oh
crab
my
mask,
god! Because
but,
imagine that, dude. Imagine
I don't
the
want
crab mask covering his entire face, and then he's got the Barry Allen creepy smile.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
I just ruined everything for Rob.
Or he's got like the
I could
disgusting
picture.
blowjob face.
Oh god.
There's like some image of Wally. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Sex doll.
Yep. You look like it's like. That's it.
That's I'm like if I
Oh,
saw
no.
that I would cry. It would break me because I'm like, wow, first time they see each other in years,
Yeah.
and this is the shit we get.
Yeah,
Okay,
creepy smile
well.
and blowjob face. Though when I hear blowjob face in a comic book, I think of Greg Land on Ultimate Fantastic Four.
Oh my god,
Reed Richards. That was
that's
just,
like
that was wrong.
that's the worst of it.
Yeah, and that's actually a blowjob face.
All right. Well, I'm going to say that it doesn't take a detective to tell that we should probably move past the topic
Yeah.
of blowjobs.
Speaking of books that blow,
Hey, you hush
little
now.
spoiler. I will, because there ain't much to say about this issue.
Tush.
Ooh, shush.
Tush.
Tush.
Hatoosh.
Tush.
All right, Batman 159, written by Jeff Loeb. Art written by Jeff Loeb, art inside and out with pencils by Jim Lee, inks by Scott Williams, and colors by Alex Sinclair, with lettering by Richard Starkings.
I'll be right back.
Feeling conflicted, but still doing what he thinks is right, he took Joker out. He took Joker as he found him to Leslie Tompkins. Remember, he was all mutilated and beat up and like had his tongue cut out and shit. So he brings Joker to Leslie and says that it's because the hospital's too far away. Leslie calls him out on his bullshit and says that it's because he didn't want anybody to scene with him. And she's right. Hush was playing the game with Batman, forcing him to either willfully kill Joker or willfully save Joker. It puts him in a tough situation, and it puts crosshairs on the back of the back from the Bat family. Nightwing and Babs don't know if they can trust anyone but themselves, and they're teaming up with the Riddler to take Hush down. Meanwhile,
Apparently
Joker
has
needs...
been taking steroids.
Yeah,
He's enormous in this issue.
he really is. Especially compared to how we've seen him over the last, I
Like-
don't even know how long.
If you compare the way Jim Lee drew the way Jim Lee drew Riddler in Hush, like in that last issue, versus this behemoth, you will laugh. In fact, I should put them together
difference.
right now.
Well, So they're teaming up with Riddler to take Hush down. Meanwhile, Joker needs round-the-clock care, and since Bats can't take him to a hospital, he has to take him to the Batcave. Well, remember the Bat family? They find out about Joker. All of them, including Red Hood, who really doesn't take the news lightly. He tries to shoot Joker in the head, fights against Batman, who gets knocked out, and then disappears. Red Hood, not Batman. Before knocking out Bruce, Red Hood tells him that he's going to finish what he came there to do. And Joker is still alive, so what does that mean? Well, Batman's sure of one thing, and that's that Red Hood is working with Hush. That's the issue, and it's not a bad one. It is a rehash, but we're getting a somewhat interesting dilemma that Bruce is going through, and his Bat family doesn't know if they can trust him now, given that he was recently taken over by Zur and whatnot. So what a damn cluster bomb of bullshit Bruce is in the middle of. Again, I am reviewing this from the point of view of what's the best out of what is bad. We should, and I say that saying, we should never be rehashing Hush. We should never have a sequel to Hush, especially call it Hush 2 after we've had approximately 17 sequels to Hush. Hush with Hush. Past that, going off of, we know what we're getting, it was at least enjoyable. The art looked pretty damn good, though it's kind of obvious that Lee isn't the guy that drew the New 52 anymore. Furthermore, his art drawing Red Hood on the cover looks bad. Very, very blocky. There's something that's off about it.
The shading
regardless,
the shading and inking is also not very good. This is not Scott
Yeah.
Williams' best, but I think that the actual the composition of it is fine. I think it would work better if it had a little more definition to it. It just looks lackluster.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think he looks
figures
like a
are fine.
vampire.
Well, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
anyway.
yeah, the figure looks fine to me. It's just something about the actual definition of it. It's not effective, and it needed something that emphasized the actual shape of it a little bit more.
Yeah, because right now it looks like his legs and his torso are not exactly in line. But altogether, I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Jeez, that's praise. This
Well,
gets an
it's,
easy 7 out
again,
of 10 for me. And the
That
problem
review
is
is knowing and basing it off of what Hush is. And
no. So
hoping that
here's
it's
the thing,
better.
right? Because you're saying rehash, and to an extent that might seem true, at least for the first issue, for issue 158. But reading this issue, I realized, I mean, there are definitely places where it's trying to recapture that feeling of Hush, especially with the narration. But the story
It feels
itself
that
is
way.
not just a rehash. The problem is, and this is the most common complaint I've seen, the story just doesn't, well, there are two things, but the first is the story doesn't work because it's about 15 years too late. And the way that everything is structured story-wise just does not fit in with current Batman. So I'll give you a very clear example in this issue. You have someone like Jason Todd, who has been through a million different Joker stories of his own since 2005, since Under the Hood, basically having the character arc that he should have had after Under the Hood in this story, which doesn't make any sense, at least not to me, because I'm like, this whole character moment feels unnecessary. It's
No,
something
I
that we've
took
already
it- I
seen
took
and
it
more
as-
effectively elsewhere.
I
But
took it
aside
as
from
he
that, it's
knows
also
that the
just not a
Bat
very
family
compelling
wouldn't
mystery.
kill him, but Batman didn't have to save him when he was very nearly dead. I think that's what pisses Red Hood off.
See, I don't buy into that, especially given that Jason, despite all of his trauma, has already kind of made his own peace with that aspect.
That's very true.
death.
I'm trying to
So
help
I
Loeb and
just-
Lee out.
There's
Look,
no-
I get it. We had this discussion last month, and we're like, we're trying, man, because
Yeah.
you don't get this. You don't get an arc like this every month, right? It is something, or it should be something special. But
we
it's
do
just
this
not.
summer.
Yeah. So, yeah, it is very lackluster. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Well, he's not wrong.
It's very much not wrong. Oh, are these the receipts? Should we look at the shit? Okay. Sorry, multitasking. Yeah, it's. Brandon basically said what I was gonna say, that the story itself didn't seem that bad for this issue. It's just, once again, we're getting Bruce and Jason fighting, and to really drive home how inane this is, Bruce even says in the middle of the fight in his head, I thought me and Jason had gotten past all this, but I guess not.
Well, see, that one
So
line of
Luke-
dialogue in the caption box is how they tied it to current continuity.
Yes, but it doesn't make
With
it
the
any
most
less
hand
stupid.
wavy thing, yeah. Like, well, I mean, I guess we thought he did, but well, not really.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, like you guys have that was a Batman Urban Legends, that story with Bruce and Jason there should have been the capper to all of their familial problems, because that
Yep.
story there to me was like the perfect way to finish off that pseudo rivalry and like really
Yeah.
hammer home their father-son relationship again and make them really be close again and make Jason feel like a part of the family, because that
Yeah.
really did solidify him. But
And
then,
even more to the
since
point-
then we've had like 3 or 4 stories of Jason fighting with Bruce.
Yeah, even more to the point, that was like the first time they'd ever had a story together pretty much since Red Hood and the Outlaws started.
Yeah.
In 2011, the first run. You know what I mean? Like, he'd pretty much been doing his own thing since Rebirth started, and that book ended in 2020 or 2021, I can't remember. Like, right
Yeah.
around the time of Joker War. So it made perfect sense. It's like, okay, now that he's on his own, back in Gotham, they have this cheer storyline. Like, this is the definitive statement on their relationship and putting some closure on it.
Yeah.
But no, fuck it.
I mean, they
Fuck
did
it.
have that story near the end of the second volume of Red Hood and the Outlaws, when Jason, after the Outlaws had quote unquote died, and I think that at that point was Bizarro and Artemis, and
Yeah.
he was just Red Hood Outlaw. He went back to Gotham and pretended to be a villain just to infiltrate the crime, and then Batman convinced. It was at that point Batman convinced him to use rubber bullets, and that was a growth point for Jason. And that, I think that might have been the last time they had a one-on-one
Mm.
in continuity. And
No,
that was
after
like,
that, it was during Zuranar.
Well, that was after the urban legend stuff. Is I think
Oh,
what Rob
I
said.
thought
Yeah.
my bad.
yeah, no, we're talking about like since before that urban legend story.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But it's just, yeah, I'm just so tired of them rehashing this Bruce versus Jason thing. And I get, if anybody could do it and is going to do it, it'll be Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee, because they basically got that ball rolling in the first place.
Mhm.
But you also have to respect that you set that ball rolling 20 years ago. And since then, many people have played with that ball. And since then, people have gotten tired of playing with that ball. Maybe it's time to retire that ball.
Yeah.
Maybe that ball's got a couple of holes in it. Maybe it doesn't bounce as well as it used to. Maybe it's got a few too many rubber patches on it.
Well,
Maybe it was
it
lost
reeks-
on the roof of the school.
It reeks
many
of
times.
we want to make that moment right. Like, he acknowledges in the issue that the last time we fought like this, it wasn't Jason, it was Clayface, and I can tell because the movements are different. Like, okay,
Yeah.
that moment was supposed to be this big reveal, like, oh my god, it's Jason, but it actually turns out to be, a false impression. And this is kind of them making that moment right. Like, okay, now they're really going to have that moment where they fight over everything. But it's so unearned.
And what really bugged me about that as well is, like, he says that, these movements aren't like before. These movements feel real. This must be Jason. Let me be sure. shoot him in the fucking face 3 times. Just break his mask. Oh, no, it's definitely Jason. Okay, just had to be sure. And Jason's like, you had to be sure, huh? Yeah. Oh, okay, whatever. He just shot you
I
in the
will say
fucking
I saw
face.
I saw that image of Batman firing a gun out of context before I read the issue. I was like, this like in my mind I'd already decided like this issue is bullshit. Reading it in context makes more sense story wise, but it's still very
Doesn't really help.
yeah, it doesn't help.
And why is
It is
Jason wearing
shocking
the
seeing
full
Batman.
hood?
Even I had to go, wait, oh, wait, yeah, there's rubber bullets.
Yeah, those were real bullets, and like, there wasn't any other possible way you could have tested to find out if this was one of your sons. There's no other way possibly could have come to your mind in your
No.
family home.
No.
No. Gotta shoot him in the fucking forehead. And why is he wearing the red hood again? He didn't have the half mask with the actual hood. He's got like the full mask.
Because
He hasn't
how
worn
else
that
are
in
you
like
gonna
7
do?
years.
How else are you gonna do the reveal of well, obviously it's Jason Todd, but just in case you don't know,
Oh,
it
yeah.
is in fact him, and they have a caption that says Jason Todd, my trusted partner, the second Robin. Just in case you forgot, because you
Yeah.
haven't read Batman since 2005,
And how else is Batman gonna shoot him in the fucking face?
of course.
Yeah.
Good cloud.
God damn it. So yeah, the art I didn't mind, but it did hammer home to me. It was this issue that made me realize I don't like the way Jim Lee draws the bat ears.
Really?
Yeah, it kind of just
Interesting.
bugs me, and this is honestly a nitpick for me. It's just, reading this issue, I realized he has them really centered right above the human ears with a rounded skull, and it just looks awkward from a side profile. But like most times when you see people draw them, and I think he even drew it in the New 52 Justice League, because I remember seeing some early sketches, the ears were closer to the back of the head, so they're more in line with the back of the skull, and it looked more
Right.
like a natural flow. I
Oh,
like
see what you
that,
mean.
but
Huh.
instead of like this curve, point, curve, you just
Yeah.
have curve, point, straight down. I prefer the straight down as opposed to the curve, point, curve, which is what Jim Lee drew here. And I checked he did it with Batgirl as well. I was like, this just looks awkward.
Yeah.
It looks weird.
Hmm.
But that's
I
just a
don't know.
nitpick
I
for me.
kind of like them both ways, but
Wish you
I
weren't
hear what
so
you're
fucking
saying.
awkward, bud.
Yeah. No, that's like I said, it's literally just me. It's just for me.
Yeah.
It is just you. I've
Yeah.
never heard anyone say, I don't like the way Jim Lee draws Batman.
Oh, not
Like,
not,
I
like,
almost know
Batman
just the
is just the
ears. Yeah.
ears, just the ears on the cowl. The placement of the ears is what's kind of weird for me. But I love everything else.
I
he
never
drew.
even paid that close attention to it. Oh, that's interesting.
Neither have
I'm
I.
not gonna be
until,
able to
like
unsee
this
that
issue.
now.
There was like one panel where Batman was like side profile. I'm like, why does this look
Yeah.
fucking weird? And I looked at it, I was like, wait, it's the ears. What the fuck is with the ears? What the? Yeah, it's just it was an awakening for me, of like I care about the placement of the bat ears on the cowl. I didn't know.
Oh, it's good that you know.
Yeah, it's good.
Now
I
you
know
can
now.
only want it that way.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't mind the art in the rest of the issue though. Yeah, I don't even know what to score this one, guys. I'm gonna be honest.
9 out of
with
10.
you. Hell no, I'm not comparing that to Green Arrow and Green Lantern.
No,
Nuts.
I'm like
8.75 out
Green
of 10.
Arrow over this schlock any
Jesus.
day.
6.5 out of 10.
That's the score I gave the Flash. Maybe I'll give it a little higher than the. No, fuck, it's 6.
7.5 out of 10.
Let's get
You're going to give it
6.
lower than The Flash?
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming.
At least the Flash has.
Wait,
some
I
enjoyable
gave
moments.
this lower than the Flash actually.
Yeah.
Well,
At
There
least with the
went
Flash,
all-
like it's so insane. It's all there's a part of it that's almost entertaining.
Yeah,
Like, I want to see how
that's-
ridiculous this shit gets.
That's exactly it.
But
After 20
like,
issues,
yeah.
like, okay, like how zany is Cy Spurrier gonna be? this
like,
month?
what's gonna happen next? I don't really like
Is
it, but
Marvin the Martian
never
gonna
know.
show up or some shit? Like,
hello, Earthling.
yeah,
but with this, with
Kaboom.
Hush 2, you're just getting, oh, I'm so broody. Just
yeah. I
Yeah.
can't trust anyone. Hush is playing games with me again, like he did that last time. But I wasn't that aggro last time. But I am this time.
I
But I
couldn't
don't
trust
really know
anybody then.
why.
I
With
learned
my
to trust people
discombobulator.
since. Is that Marvin the Martian? What the fuck?
I don't have time for a crossover.
Get me Elmer Fudd. Anyway.
I'm not wearing a Spartan hat.
Also, I just noticed this, but there might be a panel that is possibly reused from the original Hush.
Oh shit.
And, it could just be a
Uh-oh.
reference thing.
Oh,
But I noticed it the first time, and I thought maybe I was going crazy. But there's a moment where Jason is like, he has a shocked look on his face, and I swear that's the exact same way Jim Lee drew him in a flashback when he was dead. Like he was reflecting on Robin. It was one of those like painted moments. I'm gonna see if I can find it, but I swear it looks exactly the same. I mean, if he copied himself, it's fine. Like,
I mean, yeah,
he's using
was
himself as
the
reference,
same
whatever.
artist,
But
yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
like, I don't know. It just kind of was like, really?
I mean, that's actually not uncommon for some artists, especially when they're hitting a deadline. And I can imagine somebody like Jim Lee trying to hit a deadline, be like, "Huh, I remember this panel I drew like 20 years ago in the
Yeah.
last Hush. Maybe it'll fit here, and I can just fit it in." Well, you'll see that in some artists. They'll like reuse a panel they did like 3 months prior,
Oh yeah.
just because it fits.
It's just like
and
a
they're trying to
minor
hit the
thing. I was
deadline.
like,
yeah,
I don't know. Something about it just took me out of it for a moment.
yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
All right, that's
Well,
enough about
enough of
this.
This
Yeah.
rubbish.
This dash up and away from that shit.
Yeah, to a milestone,
Yeah.
25th issue.
We made it.
Yeah,
25
because there's
issues,
so
onwards.
many Superman series that have not made it to 25 issues. What a
Well-
fucking milestone.
Yeah.
Let's not jinx it, okay?
I mean, they do
Never
that
know.
for every book, though.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. 25 doesn't even seem like that big a deal. If it was 50, that's one thing.
Oh my god.
But ever since New 52 started, anytime a book gets to 25, like 25 is a big number. Like, no, it's not.
It's a
It
it's
kinda-
every quarter.
I don't know.
25, 50,
No.
75, 100.
Yeah.
125,
With
100.
the,
It's
with the state of the market now, 25 is kind of a milestone.
Yeah.
I'm always shocked when a book makes it to 25.
That's a good point, actually.
I mean,
Not
maybe
a
not so much for
Superman
DC
book.
because they usually are somewhat decent about letting books go for a little longer. But especially with Marvel books, I'm like, if a book at Marvel makes it to 25, it must be doing well.
Yeah.
They can't wait to
That-
relaunch that shit after 10 issues.
That don't mean shit. That don't mean shit because we had Amazing Spider-Man go past 25 issues multiple times.
Oh,
We had fucking
I mean, do you remember the was it the relaunch in 2015 or something? That might have been because of Secret Wars. So actually, let me not speak
Yeah.
out of turn. But that's the last time I can think of where that. I think that book honestly went for like 18 issues
oh yeah,
and then relaunched.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yikes. I was gonna say that one Iron Man 1 run by the I can't remember who the hell the guy that wrote it was.
wasn't Joshua Williamson.
No, he was doing the friggin' Challengers
Jaws.
series.
Oh, Christopher Cantwell.
Christopher Cantwell. I don't think that went to
Yeah.
25 issues, but like if it did, I
I,
wouldn't be
I
surprised.
think it. I
'cause-
think it went to exactly 25 issues.
Oh
and
god
they were
damn
like,
it, Marvel.
All right, we're done.
So are we.
That's it. But the next Iron Man run only went to 18 issues. The
Yeah.
Jerry Duggan run, which I was like,
Crazy.
what is even the point of this?
Yeah. But anyway.
They're missing the milestones. No Marvel milestones. No milestones for you.
Yeah. Anyway,
And no
Superman 25. Like I said, it's always. It should be. It should not be. I agree with you. It should not always be this big celebration that a book makes it to 25. But
Yeah.
given the state of things, it kind of has to be.
Yeah, I get that. And it's the first like ongoing issue of Summer of Superman with the banner and everything.
It's true. Yeah. Get
Really
hyped.
Yeah.
Superman 25, written by Joshua Williamson, with art from Jamal Campbell, Eddie Barrows, Aber Ferreira, and Dan Mora, with colors from Alejandro Sanchez and letters from Dave Sharp. This issue starts with a brief flashback to the moment that Lex Luthor put his master plan into play for getting Superman on his side to work alongside him and basically finally get to the point where he is the greatest person in all of Metropolis. But as he is deliberating all of his plans in detail of how Superman will come to work for him, Mercy brings up one of his backup plans, Project XL, which Luthor quickly shuts down and says that under no circumstances, regardless of what may or may not go wrong, but I'm Lex Luthor, so nothing's going to go wrong, Project XL must not be unleashed. Cut to the present day where Project XL is currently being released as Mercy continues to state that the Lex Luthor they need is XL and that this will be the Lex Luthor that Metropolis deserves. XL, freshly out of his weird kryptonite chamber, is asking a few questions on what's going on. Particularly, his memories are still a little out of date, so he's wondering why Lena Luthor is there. And Mercy quickly explains that the plans that they had developed early on, back in that flashback, have gone awry, and Superman and Superwoman, or I guess really just Superman, have turned against them. So, of course, Lex is now going to step up and be the hero that he needs. We get another flashback to Lex and Mercy, with Lex really hammering down on the fact that he would rather just relinquish all of the plans that he had, and despite the fact that he has his memory back now, which seems to be news to me, he'd rather just give it all up, move somewhere else, and have Mercy with him by his side. Mercy looks happy in the moment, but clearly is upset and unsatisfied with this version of Lex. And that's when XL decides to cut loose and goes against the supers in the underground chamber. We cut over to Stryker's Island, where the real Lex is still being shuffled off to his shell, but insists that he needs to get back to Supercorp, which Chief Krakoa is not having any of it. But at that moment, who arrives but Marilyn Moonlight, who we haven't seen in quite some time, and Lex, seeing this as his opportunity to get back to Supercorp, says that he will accept his penance for all the evils that he brought to Marilyn Moonlight, but now he just needs to get back to Supercorp to hopefully help Superman with whatever is going on. We see XL kicking the crap out of Superman in his weakened state, and at that moment, Marilyn Moonlight and the real Lex arrive to give Superman a little bit of help in as much as they can. As Lois and Clark are looking on, they realize that they can't really do anything to fight Luthor right now, so they decide to help out and try and evacuate Metropolis while the fight's going down. But as the real Lex is able to land some blows, that's when we see that this XL is a little bit faulty. Might need to be sent back to the manufacturer because we see that he basically is getting kind of dumb. And that's when the real Lex reveals that this cloning process was adapted from the same process that he used to make Bizarro, which basically means that this Super Lex is really more like a Bizarro Lex, or a Super Bizarro Lex, if you will. But regardless of his rapidly deteriorating mental state, XL is still determined to be the true Lex. And if Metropolis won't have him, then no one will have him. So he's getting ready to level the city. But Superman and Superwoman have recovered at that point and are now getting ready to take down XL properly. Marilyn Moonlight disappears at that point as morning dawns over Metropolis. And just as they seemingly have an upper hand, as Superman is launching some ice breath at XL lashes out against him and triggers his red kryptonite infused blood, which causes him to kind of step back for a moment. XL then goes after Lois, who decides to, in a really weird moment, make an offer and basically say that this super chump is not the one that you need. I'm the real Superman that you want, and together we can be the power couple of Metropolis. But when she obviously rejects that offer, He decides to then lay a threat out against her family, and of course, Lois lashes out with a almost like supernova effect, knocking XL down to the ground. XL still making threats, and is really kind of calling out the other Lex Luthor, saying he's the fake and that he'll be the real Lex Luthor. But the real Lex decides to do the only thing that he can do at this moment and kills XL, something that Superman is not happy about. Immediately goes to confront Luthor, and of course Lex is like, I had no other option. He was going to kill you, and he's going to kill my loved ones. I did what I had to do, and I'm going to be the man of tomorrow. Superman is obviously not happy and is getting ready to drop off Lex at Stryker's, but turns to Superwoman to go back to Supercorp and check in on Mercy. And that's when Superwoman reveals that her powers are gone. That's where this big 25th issue ends. A lot going on, a lot of reveals, and certainly one hell of a cliffhanger. It is a solid 25th issue, but I don't know. If I'm honest, I didn't love it. It was...
What was the cliffhanger?
Lois
Well,
lost her
that
powers.
Superwoman doesn't have her powers anymore. How that happened. Definitely interested to see where that goes, but I don't know.
She lost it during the explosion.
Yeah.
I have a theory about that.
Yeah, it's possible that the exposure to kryptonite might have stripped her of her powers. I'm not really sure, but
Her
I don't
doing
know.
that big, huge blast used up all of the Kryptonian energy in her body.
that could be it too. That could be it too.
New 52 Superman did the exact same thing for a while.
Yeah, it was like his
And he had to
supernova
recharge his
effect.
cells for a few days.
Yeah. So it could just be that she needs exposure to the yellow sun, and she'll be back. Who knows? Because they also never really made it clear whether or not Lex has like Kryptonian DNA now, and that's what's giving her access to her powers. Because if that's the case, all she'd need to do is just recharge, and she'd be fine. But I guess we'll find out. No, the issue is it's. I don't want to make it sound like it's bad, but I think this is the first time I'm reading an issue of this series, and I'm like, this is fun, but where are we going? Like, what's the destination? Because a lot of things are happening, and I in reading this issue, it kind of made me want to go back and take stock of all that's happened, which I think makes sense for the anniversary. And it feels like a lot of things have happened, and there have been a lot of moments, but it's not really going in any direction, which is fine if that's the kind of thing you want to do. But it's clear that they were trying to set up this grander narrative for Superman, and I feel like I have no sense of where it wants to be or where it wants to go, because it just feels like every new arc there's a new revelation or a new character or something, and then they're dealt with, and then we never see them again, or maybe they'll pop up later, and I don't know. I know Josh is laughing because he feels like he's getting his just desserts. I still am enjoying the series, don't get me wrong.
Flash is what it is.
Yeah.
It's Williamson's Flash.
No, like I don't want to make it sound like I'm hating on it. I'm just like, where are we going? Like, what is the plan? Is there a plan?
What is the plan?
What is the plan? Like,
We're gonna leave a bunch of fucking strings out in the universe and get everything back to exactly how it was when I first started writing it.
Yeah. Like, where are we? Where is the car going? Because right now we're on a road trip, and I don't know.
Just cruising town, going around in the square.
I don't know. Well, if he is going to have ongoings, at least have a more clear idea of where you want to go, what are the story beats that you want to hit along the way, and have a more satisfying trajectory to get there.
And
that's
make
I think
us
that's,
on the same page with you.
That's I think I'm noticing it now, because when you read the arcs individually, they're fine, but when you put them all together in a grander story, I have
it's
no
almost
sense
like
of
a
where
hero
it wants to
or
be.
villain of the week.
Exactly, yeah. Except the villain of the week is a 6-issue arc instead of 1 issue.
Yeah.
So we have the
Netflix version
what
of
were
it.
they called? Like the Dr. Farm and Dr. Graft. That was the first arcs. Then we have Superman in the Old West dealing with the Maryland Moonlight thing. Then the Chained. Then Brainiac. Although I guess that was kind of resolved, so that's not so much to worry about.
Wait,
And
where was
I
that?
guess now we're getting to this.
That's Parasite stuff.
Oh yeah, that was the opening arc. Yeah,
Oh, that wasn't this run.
um,
Okay.
yeah. Which I mean, to be fair, like Parasite was kind of had been somewhat recurring in the Supercorp background,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm just like all the bigger arcs, and particularly the bigger arcs like the Chained and like the Farm and Graft stuff. Like it they're satisfying to a degree, right? And it's like if you read it on its own, it's fine. But in terms of the larger narrative, I'm just not really sure what the point was because it just keeps adding new things, and I'm not sure if it's going to have any connection to what has already been established. If that makes sense.
I do want to ask. Did
Oh, it
you
makes sense.
read Williamson's Flash run?
Did I?
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
mean, I kind of fell off during the crisis, whatever that crisis villain storyline was, and then came back during Flash Year One and read till the end. So
Okay.
there's a little bit of a blind spot somewhere
Right.
towards the back half of it. But yeah, I read most of it.
Because this is structurally now that we're at issue 25 and
Mm.
the arc of Lex Luthor is starting to wind down. It's feeling much like his run, where there's a lot of great ideas and a lot of
Mm.
fun story and a lot of interesting execution,
Salt Bay.
but the
Just gonna sprinkle that
ending
shit.
falls flat. And
Yeah.
all the big ideas that he had and new characters that he introduces and exciting moments that he made happen kind of just fall to the wayside or disappear. And I'm really hoping that doesn't happen here because I really like
Yeah,
the direction he's
I
taken
hope so.
Lex. Yeah.
Yeah. Genuinely, like I don't want to celebrate it. I don't get any sick vindictive pleasure out of seeing a run fall apart, unlike our friend Josh, who's just like getting his vindication right now.
I told you so.
He's so you so want to just scream "I told you so" from the mountaintops, but I believe. I'm just like I don't know. I hope it doesn't completely fall off the rails and continually
Yeah.
ignore everything else that it has already established.
I would
So,
just hope that Williamson has learned.
Yeah.
It's like,
Or,
I
like-
really like this Lex stuff.
yeah, worse that
Look,
you
it's been
you
2
set
issues of
something up.
Superman, and we haven't seen Doomsday or Time Trap Keeper, or whatever the fuck his name
Yeah.
is, Trapper Keeper.
Well,
we
I mean,
haven't
they-
seen
they-
him.
yeah.
We haven't seen them at all.
I don't mind that because that one clearly is setting up for a bigger story, but like they did that. What were they called? The not the Revenant.
No,
The-
not the Revenant.
Wasn't it the Revenant?
No.
The-
Like that organization of people who were affected by
Clandestine?
Doomsday.
The planet that he fucking
Yeah.
rampaged through the first
Yeah.
one. I can't remember
But
what
they
it is
had a
right now.
name. The something with an R, I think. Not the Rampart. I don't know.
swear-
Whatever
Not
they
the
were
Rampart, not the Radiant.
called. But that
was
was it. It might have been the
Radiant.
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 Yeah, the Radiant. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There you
Cool.
go. But yeah, the Radiant. I know they're in a bottle city or whatever, but I'm thinking about that and I'm worried that like they resolved that plot point at the end of that arc in issue 23 and then we're just never going to see them again, or we'll see them
We
but
will
it
never
won't be
see
until
them
the
again.
last issue
You'll
of the
never see
run
them again.
where they have
Yeah.
to
It's done.
like hand wave it away, like, oh, what happened to the Radiant? Oh, whatever, we
They're in a
put them on
bottle
a planet
city.
somewhere and
Duh.
they're fine. Yeah. Or no, not even like that. Like, not that they're still in the bottle city. It'll just be like, imagine we get to issue like 70 or something, and it's like, say, Clark, whatever happened to the Radiant? And he's like, oh, we put them on a planet somewhere in the Vega system, and they're cool.
I got a
The
question
end.
for you. I got a question for you.
What's up?
Do you know what happened to the Sage Force, the Strength Force, and the Still Force? Nobody does, because they never came back.
I mean, maybe they were in that last arc in like a splash page or something, but
What, the Cy Spurrier book?
no, I'm talking
That's-
like the
that's-
last
that's-
arc of Williamson's
That's
run.
one of the. I would be so happy if
No,
Cy
they
Spurrier
never
brought
showed
the
up. I
Strength
read it all.
Force and
Yeah.
Speed and Still Force.
Well, yeah, I
and
mean
Sage
those
Force, that'd be
characters in
fantastic.
particular, like that was the problem. They were introduced, and there was what was her name, Fuerza,
Where's
and
yeah? I
that
don't
other
remember the
dude
others.
with the mask.
And the turtle.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and
Yep. And I
then they
read
never
every
were.
issue of his entire run, and they don't get brought up. I did read
No.
the ass end of it. It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
they.
And well,
many threads
I
that are
mean,
loose in there. It's like
they
a
did return at some
20-year-old
points,
bed sheet.
but then they
it
kind of
it
just
just
went off on their way and never got
yeah.
brought up by anybody ever again.
It just sort of feels like you bought a new toy. This analogy. You bought a new toy and you've been playing with it for weeks, and then you're like, I'm kind of bored. I want a new toy. So you
Yeah.
get a new toy and you completely forget about the other one. You never touch it again. And then maybe like 5 years later, you nostalgically look in your box and you're like, oh yeah, I remember when I played with that thing. I think
No,
I'll play
see,
with it one more time. And then I'll never play with it again.
and for
Feels
me
like
as a
that.
reader, I feel like I'm a 9-year-old who's given a video game that he's wanted so badly for his birthday. He's handed it. He looks up, tears in his eyes, and says, "Thank you so much." And then his dad snatches it and goes, "Psych!" That's what I feel like.
Remind me to not ask you about past Christmases. Look, you got some trauma you need to unload there.
Just this one time, my mom promised to get me a video game for my birthday, and then didn't. Super Mario
She
3.
didn't. And I never spoke to her again.
You weren't
Not
missing
yet,
much.
anyway.
But yeah, anyway, I don't know. I still have hope for what the run can be, and I want to
Yeah.
believe that it will be more satisfying than the Flash ended up being. Because there is some really interesting stuff to look forward to, but I'm like, how am I supposed to look forward to this upcoming like Doom or Omega Legion storyline or the Red Kryptonite storyline when I still don't feel like we've gotten any proper resolution to the Lex stuff or to the Radiant or the Chained or any of it. They just kind of disappear and then it's over.
I think the chained got sent back to prison, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, holy hell.
But that's a plot thread that also feels like it hasn't really been properly unpacked. Because there's the whole dimension of Lex was doing these experiments with the Chained, and he never really got any comeuppance for it. It was just like, oh, okay, well,
Get out.
yeah, he got out. Oops, he wasn't supposed
Yeah.
to,
No.
and also you weren't supposed to know about it.
Yeah. I
Go
I
ahead.
sorry. I just chomping on the bit to talk about some stuff. Wait, Brandon, did you give your score?
Oh no. I'll give this a 7.75 out of 10. Like most of it I enjoyed. It's always great seeing Dan Mora do Superman.
Yeah.
And there are fun moments. It's just like with the last issue. Yes, it's cool to see XL fighting Lexosuit Lex.
Yeah.
I'm not above that. Even I am lowbrow and or however you want to call it, that I can enjoy that because it's fucking awesome. But also I can acknowledge that there are quite a lot of flaws.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. That whole fight was just like, this is meta and I love it.
Yeah, Lex versus Lex. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, I'll start off with let me bring up Marilyn Moonlight. I'll give kudos to Williamson that he created Marilyn Moonlight in like what, issue 5, and
something like that. Yeah.
brought her back 20 issues later. He's never done that before. So like it's given me some hope that maybe he's not just forgetting some plot points.
Fucking
XL
embarrassing.
and fighting Lex was really cool.
XL. Lex backwards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I kind of dig the naming convention. Because you look at it first, the way it's spelled out is X-EL. And you're like,
Yeah.
okay, it's like Lex L. Like, he's got Superman
That's what I was
DNA.
thinking at first.
Yeah. And then you think about, no, it's Lex backwards because he's full of himself. But then you think of XL is kind of Bizarro, and Bizarro speak backwards. So it's Lex backwards.
Yeah.
It's like
Super Lex.
It all
foreshadowing.
makes sense.
Yeah, it all makes sense. All words go back to Lex.
Well, that actually is kind of clever foreshadowing.
Yeah,
'cause
like
they
I'm
reveal
gonna admit,
his
the
yeah,
naming convention is kind of clever.
like that could have given you a clue that
Yeah,
there is some Bizarro in him without even telling you.
yeah. If you thought about it, but like the way it's
Yeah.
spelled out is not the first thing that's gonna pop into your head.
Exactly.
I didn't even think about it until you were like talking about the book. I'm like, oh shit.
It legitimately didn't dawn on me until
No.
I saw the name again in this issue, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's just Lex backwards.
Yeah.
Because I did the same
And
thing you did. I
he
was like, oh,
speaks
it's like,
backwards.
yeah.
Yeah. Whoa.
Huh, whoa, trippy. Now, if only
Um,
they'd flipped the shield, that might have been giving it away too much.
Yeah, you know. And I'm not gonna lie, I said it last issue, I'm gonna say it again for this issue. Seeing Lex's head in the Kryptonian recovery suit
Oh,
just makes my inner child giddy for some reason. I don't
I'm
know
just
why.
Like, I want it. It looks so cool.
I'm tempted
So that too.
to make
It's
a
like, I want a
McFarlane
figure.
custom of this figure.
I know.
I can get another Lex. There's a recovery suit Superman. Just pop the head off, pop on Lex. I got another custom figure for DC All In. Like I'm.
Yep.
Let's
Time to
go.
start scrolling eBay.
Yeah.
Oh man. And if I had
Um,
talent, I would like paint the eyes a little bit so he has the red eyes or the green eyes or something.
I can give you some
so it
tips.
really looks
I
like that.
Hey,
I've
green-
painted some
green
really
suit
tiny
power
dots
Lex.
before red,
Oh, cool.
so I can give you some tips on that.
Green suit Lex is only
Appreciate
$10, man.
There you
I've
go.
got a green suit Lex, but I might just need another one.
Well, that's what I'm saying is if you're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
buying it for the head, just get the green suit Lex because it's only $10. It's the cheapest
Yeah.
one.
Well, yeah, if you buy another one, you can use the one you already have to make the XL.
Exactly. Lexactly.
Exactly.
Oh,
Lexactly.
Jesus Christ. Did you give your score yet?
Not yet, because I have a couple more things I want to say about the book. I've been no stranger to saying that Lex is one of my favorite villains of all time. There's just something about him I just admire as a villain. Really
What,
like
'cause he
it.
looks
That was
like you.
that might be part of it, but there's not many bald characters in comics. Okay,
It's
I
because
gotta,
it's the
gotta,
get it.
I gotta
It's
grab
perfect
onto
for him to
somebody.
You
cosplay.
gotta hold on to that one.
And he wears green and purple, my two favorite colors. Okay, it's like meant
Villain.
to be. Can't lie. Like your theory's accurate.
It's 100% accurate. Rob's a villain. Rob is a
I only
villain.
say that just because I know you've dressed up as Lex, and I'm like,
Yeah, in
gotta-
green and
it's gotta
purple.
be a part
There's
of
a
it.
green and purple
Yeah.
suit. Yeah, with a green and purple gauntlet. And
Yeah.
people still didn't know who the fuck I was because everybody's a poser.
they just can't appreciate the genius of Lex.
We all need to go to a
Convention.
convention together and
yeah. Been saying that
swap
forever.
everything that makes sense visually, right? So
So I have
Um,
hair. Is that what...
no, so like you with no hair, you go as Superman. And then like me and Brandon also swap up shit. Like I could go as Steel.
And I'll be Lex. Okay.
Yeah, there you go, and you could be Lex.
Interesting.
Like
I can
I'll
shave
just
my
I could
head.
make a hammer for the cane. Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Would I be
There
willing
it
to
is.
shave my head
Fun.
for a Lex Luthor cosplay? I don't know. I'd have to think about that. Is it worth
Your
it?
hair will grow back. Don't worry.
I know, but it'll take a while.
Your hair grows fast. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
It'll take at least like 3 months for me to get like a decent chunk of hair back,
maybe.
and that's a while.
The best part will be picking out the wig for Rob.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I don't know if I can have a wig. I'm gonna be so hot in that thing. When
Well, I will say
don't
though-
shave
We'll
my
get you
head
a
for a
nice
couple
one
weeks,
that
my head
breathes.
gets so hot.
Oof. I will say though, if you do want to stick with the Lex cosplay, but you wanted to try out wearing a wig, it would be kind of cool to see like the '90s Lex.
Oh, with the red
costume.
Oh,
mullet.
It's
it's
like
Alexander
red hair.
Lex.
Yeah, red mullet. Because you already have the beard, so you could totally pull that off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alexander.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
Alexander
sure that would
Luthor.
be
Alexander
Crazy
Luthor
itchy.
Jr.
yes. Oh yeah.
That'd be interesting. Maybe.
I loved that time period.
Yeah, that was a fun time.
That was a fun time. Him and Matrix was good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't love that relationship, but
yeah, that was awkward.
It was damn good reading. Not, I mean, like Joker and Harley isn't a good relationship either, but nobody was bitching about that. I mean, except Harley, eventually.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but she had a good reason. Um, my biggest gripe on this is that panel after Lex kills XL and Superman gets in his face. Fine, makes sense. Superman is against killing, despite the fact that this was going to be a soulless killing machine that would kill everyone you love. But he still
And
gets in
also,
Lex's face, and Lex is like, "No, I'm the man of tomorrow." Just like, why are we
yeah.
doing this already? Like, you just said, "I want to do good." Why are you getting in his face? Like, why did that change your freaking mind? Oh my god, that part made me cringe. That I really didn't
Yeah.
appreciate, because I really wanted this evolution for Lex to stick around for a long time. I always figured eventually he'd go back to villainy. That's fine. He always does. But like, I really liked this direction for Lex. This character progression for Lex. I really enjoyed it. I don't
And
want it to be done yet. It's too soon.
even if he was going to go back to villainy, he'd have a new perspective on it. I think
Yeah.
that's what I've appreciated the most is the fact that having to work with Superman before and after the memory loss has changed his, I guess, understanding of his relationship with Superman.
Yeah.
Like that really has been one of the most interesting parts of this book, aside from some of the other stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I agree with you.
It's got to go back to those black and white panels with Mercy, where he's like, I have all these memories of these things I did, and I remember mostly all of like the reasoning and why I did it all, but I just don't have that rage anymore. I just don't have
Yeah.
that anger for it. Maybe this is a case of this whole thing with XL brought back his rage. I just I'm not
But would
happy
a
about it.
manufacturer
Him
way
wanting
do
to be
it?
the hero,
Like,
but willing to
it's-
do
I
whatever
just
it
don't.
takes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just stupid. But that suit up scene was dope as shit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
The,
lie.
the Lexus suit just appearing on his body, just which made me
I
think,
feel like such a
if
like
we do
such
get
a child when I
another
read that.
Jarvis?
when exactly when we get another Marvel DC
Yeah.
crossover, I want Lex
Oh
to
my
face
God.
off against Tony Stark.
That'd be so fucking pimp.
Right? Fuck Iron Lantern. Give me Iron
I
Lex.
know. Yes. Well, I want to see Lex make his own better version of the Iron Man Mark armor.
Yes.
Because I know he would do that. Like the minute he's like, okay, well, this guy thinks he's, so cool with his fancy suits or whatever. I've been making Lexo suits since before you could put a hammer in your hand. Like,
Yeah.
okay, well, not really, but
A Lexified
I can
version
take
of the
I
Mark
can
7.
take your tech and make it better
Oh,
because
sick.
I'm Lex Luthor, bitch. And I'm gonna make sure that shit is green and purple.
Fucking
course.
pimp the shit. He's pimping his suit.
Yes.
he's the best parts of Iron Man and Doctor Doom rolled into one perfect villain.
Yeah, that's
He's
true.
he's a tech billionaire genius that also hopes for world domination with a dope ass color scheme.
Yeah, and has the ego of someone planning
Rob
world
would say it's a
domination.
dope ass color scheme because he's a super villain.
Yours. villain.
My favorite colors aren't green and purple.
Just don't try and overthrow Toronto anytime soon, okay?
No, I won't try to overthrow Toronto either.
You said, but Ottawa isn't out of the question.
My buddy lives in Ottawa, so I have a way in.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah.
What was your score, Rob?
Fuck, I don't even know, man. I think I might like Dan Mora's amazing. The whole thing looked amazing, so I got to give it that. I think I'll give it a 7.25.
All right. Well, Mercy's back to normal. Lex is back to normal. Lois is back to normal. Superman will be back to normal within 2 issues, guaranteed. Who'd have
Oh yeah, that's
thunk
what I was gonna
that
ask.
Williamson couldn't commit to something? Look, it's written very well. He can write excellently. It's not how he. It's not his ability to write. It's not what he's writing, it's how he does it. This issue's a total flop for me, story-wise. However, it is a smorgasbord of excellent talent from the art and colors. Absolutely gorgeous. I just wish something would stick, but it never does. Individually, this issue, without knowing what's to come, factoring into the score, I give it my it's just a comic book score, which is 7.
That's higher than I was expecting.
Yeah, like it's pretty close to
Honestly.
what we gave it.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna ask because I keep forgetting.
In case
when,
you haven't
when,
noticed in Hush, I'm trying to.
I know. I was like,
Yeah.
you must be in a really good mood.
Like I think you scored it Hush higher than all of us.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. Where did Clark get this red kryptonite infection? I keep forgetting.
Farm and Graft like injected with the red
Right,
kryptonite
right,
way
right.
earlier in issue 12 or 13 or something.
That's,
So yeah,
okay.
So it has been a recurring thing where it's flaring up every time he like gets pissed,
Yeah.
or his
It'll
heart
be
pressure
resolved
spikes.
by the end of the next arc.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
that's the thing that I'm
probably.
like I don't want that to happen. I don't want this to be a negative Speed Force where it's like we'll do it for 6 issues and then it'll get siphoned off, and then now Mina Dewan has it and that's it. It's over. That was easy.
I could
That's
see it
gonna
coming
be
into
what
play when Zod shows up, though, because Zod is still an open plot thread that he set up during
Yeah.
one of the special issues that has yet to come to fruition yet. And I think we have to get through um, the Omega Legion and Doomsday before we even get to Zod. But it's supposed to happen this summer, so we'll have to see
Yeah.
when that's happening. Lois is the one that has Zod's abilities,
Right.
so they can't just be gone. That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking, right? That's why I'm thinking maybe she just kind of burned out her cells a little bit. So she's not necessarily back to normal. Because Zod's powers, being a pure blood Kryptonian, can't just disappear like that. They have to
Right.
be around somewhere. So, with Zod coming, I have a feeling the whole Red K anger thing is going to come into play with Zod. Because if Zod does get his powers back, it's going to be Zod fighting Superman.
Yeah.
Zod has gone through some shit. He's going to be extra angry. He's going to be extra vicious, and he has a bit of an army behind him right now.
So you think
Yeah.
Williamson's gonna keep this red K poisoning going until July?
Yeah,
I
That's
would
only
hope so.
3 months away.
Like if you introduce this kind of crutch that he can't really
Well,
he can't
okay,
be
there you
pissed
go.
and use his
Into this arc.
powers, at least do something with it, you know.
Yeah,
Especially if he's going to go up against Zod with a handicap like that.
Yeah, I mean you're right. He's never, done anything like that before.
But well, that's why I brought up the negative Speed Force. You talk about the stuff that you're pissed about from the Flash run. That was the one that I was like, this is a bunch of bullshit. Because it was
thing made me mad.
it was the ultimate like you have this constant crutch to Barry's powers, and he has this pain that he's working through, and after 6 issues, it's just like, okay, well, just suck it out of him like a vacuum,
Yeah.
and
Yep,
then
I'll
you
do.
never have to think about any implications of him using the Speed Force on his body ever again. Okay,
yeah.
well, that happened.
that
Right.
happened.
Yeah. Well, that was Superman.
Yes.
It was. It was.
Yeah.
Now let's move from Superman, I guess. Let's move from Superman to Superman and Co.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's the
Give me back my
wrong
cover.
picture. There,
There
we
we
go. Justice League Unlimited number 6,
We
otherwise known as We Are Yesterday Part 2, the second part of the Justice League Unlimited World's Finest crossover events, which you got part 1 last week. Introduced the whole thing with Gorilla Grodd, and this month or this week we get to see what the fuck is up with Gorilla Grodd. So this starts 2 months prior in the African jungle. Wait, I'm missing the credits.
Oh,
Old Blaze. This is written by Mark Waid with sorry, written by Mark Waid and Christopher Cantwell with art from Travis Moore, colors from Chairman Bonvillain, and letters from Dave Sharp with the cover from Dan Mora. So we open up 2 months prior in the African jungle in Gorilla City. Um, Grodd is doing his little thing about monologuing and talking about world domination and how he's chained up and this ain't right. And then all of a sudden, as he puts it, his consciousness explodes and he discovers that he has acquired Martian Manhunter's telepathic abilities. So now we know where those powers went. And with those extra abilities, he's able to bust out of prison. His mind is now supercharged. The whole issue is basically one big villain monologue from Grodd, so you get a lot of exposition and forced words coming out of Grodd's mouth in typical Grodd fashion. But the whole plot revolves around him now with this new power, wanting to take on the Justice League. Because for him, shit's gone a little haywire. The Justice League's gotten too much power, and there's not much he can do about it. He needs help. However, all the help that he did have with the Legion of Doom, everybody's kind of preoccupied or fucked up. So he needs to form a plan. He needs to infiltrate the Justice League and finds one Airwave, Harold Jordan Jr., supposedly anyway. Fresh from his adventures in time with Stargirl, and freshly also given a Justice League membership card by Superman. This is when Grodd strikes as Superman flies off and confronts Airwave, convinces him somehow with his mind powers that the Justice League is not to be trusted. Projects a mental image into his head that a satellite is in danger and he needs to head up there right away and go up against Deathbolt, villain that oddly enough is dressed a little bit like Airwave, with supposedly electric abilities, and is somehow on this space station. Airwave is trying to protect the astronauts aboard while also fighting Deathbolt. Meanwhile, calling the Justice League like crazy, but nobody's ever responding. And this is when Grodd inserts himself into the mental picture, saves the day, takes down Deathbolt, and gets into Airwave's head that the Justice League is not all they seem to be. Shows him some mental images of the Justice League going a little too violent, like Wonder Woman snapping Maxwell Lord's neck, and Aquaman and Black Manta going at it very bloodily, and Hal apparently being pretty like evil at times, and Riddler dead for some reason. I don't think that stuff happened, but yeah, he gets into Airwave's head and convinces him that the Justice League can't be trusted. They go back down to Earth, but really, they never left Earth. It was all in Airwave's head. So now the two of them kind of work together for a while, and they head off to some asteroid that is focusing Omega energy. It has Omega energy on its surface. This Omega energy also has tachyon particles within it, which can open a time gate for some reason. Which
science.
Kind of convoluted, but it's comic book science. Just can
Yeah.
go with it. Speed Force. They ain't gotta explain shit. But he's able to use the tachyon energy that Airwave has because he was lost to time, as we saw in Stargirl: The Lost Children. That part I can understand. Airwave is able to transpose some of that tachyon energy into Gorilla Grodd, sends him back in time, as we saw in World's Finest last issue last week. He's able to go back in time and convince his former comrades in the Legion of Doom to join him in the present day. Um, Also by telling them how to steal various time travel devices in their present day to come to the future and help out. And that's when Inferno was born, and they hatched this grand master plan to take on the Justice League. And then, meanwhile, at the Hall of Doom, Airwave appears as Grodd is also there with the Legion of Doom, and Airwave was like, "Wait, you're Inferno? These are your friends? That can't be right. It's not true. It's impossible. um, and that's when he seems to snap out of it because he's heard of Joker and Bizarro and some of the other villains there. So he realizes that he's been lied to. This shit ain't right. So Airwave decides that he needs to fight these guys off while he calls the Justice League to come to his position and help out. Mr. Terrific gets the call, gets Red Tornado to call in some heavy hitters. It's an alpha threat alert, so they all go straight to the broom room. However, Airwave is still alone, fighting the entirety of the Legion of Doom, but Gorilla Grodd is really the only one that needs to take him on. It's a quick fight for Gorilla Grodd. He pulls out some weird laser gun, blasts it at Airwave, and he seemingly disintegrates. And as we see, pretty much every member of the Legion of Doom has these guns.
Flesh is blown off of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although, as we know, Airwave can turn himself into electricity, basically.
Yeah.
So,
but there was literally a smoldering pile of blood left on the floor, so I don't know.
I'm just looking for
Wait,
any
wait.
excuse for
I
him not to be
know.
dead.
Yeah, I'm really hoping he's not because I love Airwave.
Yeah.
And if timing was everything, this is when a boom tube opens and the Justice League pops out. Yeah, because they couldn't have been there 2 seconds prior to save Airwave's life. And this is when the Legion of Doom, each one with their own laser gun, blasts a different member of the Justice League right away. Yeah. So that's how the issue ends, and it's to be continued in Batman Superman World's Finest 2025 Annual, number 1, Chapter 3, Section 5.
Verse
Yeah.
12.
Verse 12.
I just have to say one thing. I was going to save it for my review,
Yeah.
but that last splash page where the Justice League appears just after Airwave has gotten blasted is like the most heavy-hitting lineup of the Justice League. You've got
It
Wonder
really
Woman, Donna,
is. It's just
Flash,
missing
Shazam,
Superman.
and then like obviously I love Green Arrow, but I'm just like, why is
Yeah.
Ollie there?
You have 3 godlike beings,
Yeah, like
1 nuclear man, super speed, star power,
a
2
shapeshifter,
intergalactic
or animal
police force
shapeshifter.
people, lightning
Yeah.
abilities, and an animal shapeshifter, and then there's Hawkeye.
And then yeah, there's Ollie with
There's the
like
bow and
not
arrow.
even a punching glove arrow, just a regular
just a
looking
regular
arrow.
fucking arrow. And you know what,
What
he's
the
gonna
fuck
do?
is that gonna do?
Put it right between the Joker's eyes.
No, I love Ollie. I had to laugh when I saw
Yeah.
that because I'm like, this is like all the heavy hitters, and then Ollie's there because I don't know. They were like, well, if we get the shit kicked out of us, at least we can get a good laugh after Ollie gets it too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll all be on the ground and Ollie's still just getting kicked in the ribs.
Yeah.
This just happened yesterday.
Oh, damn it. I knew I should have stayed in Star City.
Is he back in Star City or is he still in Seattle?
No, I think it said he's back in Star City.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. That's better. Seattle was a weird thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's a different book entirely. No, so this is more of like a catch-up issue to the present day. Like, okay, we've dropped these mysteries for the past few issues.
Yeah.
Here's all the answers you've been looking for. All right, cool. Much appreciated. It's not often you get a Gorilla Grodd focused issue. I realize now I don't really care for Gorilla Grodd focused issues because he's kind of boring to hear talk for 22 pages.
I mean, Grodd is nothing if not known for his villainous monologues.
He's
exactly.
He's scheming,
It's in character. I don't have to like it though. It's
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Like it's totally in character for Grodd to do this. It's not what I want to read in Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah, it's just really long.
Yeah, very wordy and damn near Shakespearean. But it was kind of cool. The only thing I'm kind of fuzzy on is how did Airwave get to the Legion of Doom base? Because I don't remember him doing that.
that last issue of Justice League Unlimited, when the ambassador that they had saved revealed himself to be Grodd, was when he was like, "All right, Airwave, come with me.
Right.
We're going back to
Yep.
the Legion of Doom
Right.
headquarters."
Yep.
Okay.
He actually made Airwave give him the ride.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. That's right. Okay. Thank you. Nook and Kenny, you guys refresh my memory.
gotcha.
Yeah, so that's
I'm surprised.
kind
I
of a
remembered.
miscalculation on Grodd's part. Yeah, Airwave, come
Yeah.
with me. Oh, by the way, you're working
Uh,
for the bad guys.
Lol. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not hating this story arc still. I'm very curious to see where they're gonna go with it. Um, but it's only part two, and we haven't really gotten too far. So it's hard to really, for me, judge the story arc yet because it's barely gotten off the ground. Um,
Yeah.
which is kind of crazy because it's part two of like six, and it's barely fucking moved.
Yeah.
Basically, all we know is that Grodd has Martian Manager's powers. He went back in time, got the Legion of Doom, and attacked the Justice League.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, I
I
mean,
mean, we're in.
well, maybe
issue
I'll save
two,
this
that's-
for my actual thoughts, but like I enjoyed last week's World's Finest issue,
Yeah.
but it
Me
does
too.
like this issue kind of makes that issue seem pointless because like
Yeah.
you could have just shown a flashback in this issue of Grodd going back in time and basically taking over the past Grodd, as opposed to having an entire issue where Grodd and a bunch of monkeys try and overthrow Gorilla City, and then he gets thrown in jail, and then we do the reveal of a future Grodd coming into the past. Like it's
Yeah.
fun, but it was entirely unnecessary and kind of non-essential for the first chapter of a crossover storyline.
Yeah. For basically the ending of the first part to take place
Exactly.
halfway through the second part.
Exactly, yeah.
It's fucking weird.
Like this should have been like chapter 1 or
Yeah.
chapter 0.
No, I 100% agree. Yeah. Like we didn't even really need that whole story of Gorilla Grodd trying to take over Gorilla City
No,
again. That
I
was kind of
mean,
weird. Yeah.
Like yeah, had no, unless there's like some kind of Easter egg there or plot point from that invasion that's gonna carry on to the future. I don't know if like Titano shows up or something, but otherwise, yeah, it's entirely unnecessary.
right
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Not that Titano.
No.
You should
Pretty
hope not that
close,
Titano.
yeah.
Otherwise, he's gonna destroy your house.
Wait, the Gorgonites. Small soldiers, motherfucker. But no, like, I agree. Like, I enjoyed that issue too. It was a fun little read, but for it to be, if it was a standalone issue, would have felt better.
Yeah.
But being the first part of this crossover is just kind of weird.
Yeah.
So I don't really have much to say about this issue in the story arc so far. Is basically what I'm getting at. It's interesting so far. I don't know if it's necessary to be a 6-part crossover event, being called that, because it doesn't really have event feel yet. But again, it's only part 2 of 6, so we'll have to see. The art is fantastic. It's Dan Mora. Where can you go wrong?
It's Travis Moore, actually.
Oh, it's Travis Moore. Shit. Sorry, I was just looking at the cover. Yeah, no, it is Travis Moore, but Travis Moore is really good as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just hope Airwave's not dead. I said at the beginning of this, if anything bad happens to Airwave, I'm gonna be pissed. Something bad happened. You better
and it
be
has.
alive.
You're pissed.
You better be alive in issue 8. I swear to God.
That's what I was trying to say. Maybe he turned into a bolt of electricity and was like a faint, but you mentioned there's like blood and ashes on the floor, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
You'll have to see. But I'm going for now. I'll give it an 8.
So,
Yeah, no, you kind of oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. You're fine.
Go ahead. Oh, yeah, I'll keep it short because, like, yeah, Rob kind of said most of what I wanted to say, which is that, yeah, for part 2, this has mostly just been set up, which is, it's not bad, but it feels like for a 6-part crossover, it's not really the most effective use of space to tell a story because, yeah, all of this has just been setting up where Grodd has been, what he's been doing to get to where we were basically at the end of Justice League Unlimited #5. I don't know, maybe these first two issues should have been like an annual that you squish together, and that could have been like a prelude, and then we start the event, as opposed to this is the first two chapters of the event. So I don't know, it's just really weird pacing. But yeah, other than that, like, it's fine. I still like the premise of it. I know you guys have been kind of on the fence of the idea of Grodd going back to the past and getting the old Legion of Doom. I think there is interesting potential in that, especially given everything that Grodd had been through in the past year. And while this issue was very dense, it was interesting getting into Grodd's psyche a little bit and understanding why he would want to, try and remove the Justice League from the stage right now. So I like that we're getting that stuff filled in. Like, I appreciate the extra context, but I just kind of wish we would get to where the story is actually going to start, as opposed to just doing all the setup, especially given that it's been 2 issues already. So I'll give this one a 7.75 out of 10. Like, it's solid, but I want them to kind of get the ball rolling.
Yeah, I do want to clarify. I 100% get why Zod, or not Zod, Grodd is doing this.
Zod.
Yeah, same diff.
Zrod.
Zrod. I get why he's doing it. I think it's an interesting little tactic for him. He needs friends, and all his friends are just kind of screwed right now.
Yeah,
More
they're all
screwed
over
than
the
him.
place.
So yeah, like, I get it, and I do find that part interesting. But like you said, I just really wanted to get started.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm going through this issue and I'm thinking the whole thing is a flashback story, and damn, was I wrong. I didn't see.
It certainly felt that way.
At the beginning, it definitely did.
Yeah.
I did not see what was coming. I certainly didn't expect it to be so gruesome. Gorilla City Grodd Hunter has all the secrets of the heroes, and now he can Batman. I mean, he knows all the secrets of the heroes, so he can wipe them all out. I didn't mean Batman though.
Oh, you meant Batman. Come on.
Yeah, that was very intentional.
With the Legion of Doom being from the past, he's able to control them much easier, count on them much more than he could the current bad guys. I think it was a pretty investing issue. It totally set up and gave us all the answers that we've had so far in this story, and I think it's an excellent transition into what is going to be the meat of the story in this next coming issue. The art in the issue, even the smaller distant faces, are all ridiculously finely detailed. It really is amazing work. The lighting and colors are awesome too. Just checking out the way the light fades into that dragon dinosaur monster thingy's mouth. It's fucking flat out amazing. Art is stellar. Hell, even the lettering is spot on. There's one thing I can gripe about though. It's worth a groan when Grodd says, like taking bananas from a chimpanzee. My bio dad raises monkeys, and I know a lot about primates. For like the millionth time, they really don't like bananas. Like, they'll eat them, but that is not their favorite. Other than that, not much I can do. I'm gonna this a lot.
I'm gonna chalk that one up to, I don't know, like primate. What's the word I'm looking for? Primate discrimination. Like,
yes,
intelligent primates don't like each other, so he's aware that chimpanzees probably don't really like. This is just like total cope, but like he's aware that chimpanzees don't like bananas, so he's just saying that to be derogatory to chimpanzees. It's like, fuck them. Gorillas are the only primates that matter. Yeah.
I really like this, man, like a lot. 9 out of 10.
Wow.
Damn.
I'm shocked. Yeah.
Yeah, especially since you were like, I hate Mark Waid for the last 2 years.
Didn't love the first chapter of the storyline too.
Oh, you didn't?
No,
Huh?
I didn't. But
Yeah.
this, it sucked me in, man.
Man.
That's always a good thing.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. It's got some good bones to it. I just wanted more
Mhm.
for part two.
Yeah. Especially because like I feel like all the advertising we've seen of this has been like tying the past and the present. Obviously, we have the Legion from the past, but we've
Yeah.
seen like, you know, the young Barry Allen or like Batman Beyond and like all this stuff. And I guess I was expecting to like really leap into that as opposed to just kind of setting stuff up. So,
I mean, it's a Mark
yeah,
Wade
we'll see.
6 issue. You're gonna have 2 issues of setup, 2 issues of meat, conclusion issue at number 5, and then wrap ups with number 6.
That's
I
fair.
mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what you're gonna get. Well, you guys ready to do your our top 3 and favorite stuffs?
Let's do it. Whoa.
What
What was
the
that?
fuck? Something blow up?
Top 3. Excuse me, I had a Taco Bell. I can go ahead and go first.
All right.
Top 3. In third place, gonna go to Green Arrow, 8.25 out of 10. Second place is gonna be Green Lantern, 8.5, and then first place I've got to give to Justice League Unlimited, 9 out of 10.
Right on.
My favorite moment, it's gonna be them finding Dan Garrett and Green Lantern. There's literally no telling what this could bring, picking up from Blue Beetle or not, though I really hope it does. And it's Dan Garrett, so that's just super cool, period. As far as my favorite cover goes, I'm going to take a peek through these real quick. I'm going to say, even though I hate text on a cover, this cover is just so ridiculously dynamic, and
It is.
everything on there is great. I mean,
Yeah.
even like look at it, it's all scribbles, but it's done in a way where you zoom out. I mean, it looks like there's fucking text there.
Yeah.
Is there a
Everything
way
is
you can
fantastic.
get the
back.
because it's a wrapper, yeah, the wraparound
Yeah.
cover. I don't know if there's a way that you can do that on there, but there's a
Yeah.
back half and it's really cool
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, like the two together make it even better.
Yeah. Wait, hang on. I can show you. You get a better sense of it, but like it has the
I got
Mercy
it.
stuff and
Yeah.
Lobo and yeah.
Just take me a second here.
Yeah. That was gonna be my favorite cover, you bastard. So I'm gonna have to pick a different one.
You don't have to pick a different one. It's your fate.
Um. Okay, I think I have a secondary. For me, number 3, my top 3 is going to be Justice League Unlimited. Number 2 is going to be Green Arrow. Number 1 is going to be Green Lantern. My favorite moments will be the reveal of Silver Scarab, as opposed to just Dan Garrett being name dropped and shown. The reveal of Dan Garrett being alive, but also for me is like he's suiting up in a new hero identity as well. Just like that blew my mind on top of an already blown mind. So fuck yeah.
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 What the hell did I do?
I don't know.
What?
See.
Uh-oh. Oopsie. There were a few really good covers here. Not that one.
Yeah. Well, I don't
okay,
particularly
like,
like
the
this
cover
issue.
wasn't
That is a cool
bad.
cover.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not loading up. Damn it.
It's all right. Not a big
Oh,
deal.
dang.
If I'm not gonna do Superman, because honestly, as much as I do love the Superman cover, it is a little busy, right? Whereas if you look at Green Arrow and Green Lantern, they're a little more simple
Yeah.
and they're to the point. about what's going on in the issue as well, and I kind of like it. Right, the layout for Green Arrow is so succinct, in it's telling a story in one image as well. But the Green Lantern layout with the words wrapped in the Mind Force is just
Yeah, those are really cool.
beautiful. I'm fuck man, I don't know. Between those two, I don't know. I might have to give it to Green Lantern.
Damn, that was gonna be my pick.
There we go.
Well, in that case, I'll give mine to Green Arrow then.
Fair
'Cause
enough.
that Green Lantern cover is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is dope.
Mm.
Wasn't Zod on this cover somewhere, or am I mistaken? I could have sworn he was on this
see him.
cover. Huh.
No,
Damn.
I guess because that plot line hasn't really been dealt with
Yeah.
much yet. Just kind of been teased.
Fair enough. What's your
Yeah,
top
this is-
three, though?
Oh, sorry, I was just in my head going through all the Superman storylines because it clicked in my head that this is everything that's happened in the book so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, top three for me this week is in third place Superman 25, second place Green Lantern 22, and first place has to be Green Arrow number 23. And my favorite moment would come from Green Arrow, but honestly, it would be too easy. There are just too many great moments in that. So I'm going to give it to Superman, which also had a lot of great moments despite not being the best book ever, with my favorite possibly being, if not Lex in the Lexo suit versus XL charging at him in that giant double page spread, which is just, like, regardless of the quality of the issue, looks fucking sick. I can't deny that. My second favorite would probably be the reaction Lex Luthor has in the opening part of the book to the commercial that Mercy's showing him, where he's like, "It's too cute. I want to shoot it in the face."
I forgot about that. Yeah, that was
It's
funny.
like, yep, that's Lex. Or at least the Lex we knew.
Right.
Maybe the new Lex
Yeah.
might like this commercial, but that just, like, it's too cute.
I want to shoot it in the face.
Yeah.
Almost makes me want to change my favorite moment.
Well, it's especially funny because, like, that cutesy version of Lex is wearing the Lexo suit.
Yeah.
Like, it's someone who's caused mass destruction is, like, now this cute cartoon character. I can't imagine anyone being, like, accepting of that. Not even Lex.
Yeah. I would. I totally would accept it. But
Like,
that's just...
Rob says, "Sign me up for a Lex Luthor chibi
like,
doll
yeah, I don't
right
care.
now."
Yeah, he might have
Yeah.
destroyed half of Metropolis,
also
but
one of those
he looks
cubbies.
so cute.
He does.
I want a Lex Luthor duck too.
Look at his little suit.
Yeah.
You want to be his friend.
He's
Even if
adorable
threatens
and
to
angry.
Blow up your house.
He's adorable and angry. That's hilarious. All right. Well, I guess that's it then, huh?
Yeah.
So it is.
So it is. Thank you everybody for watching. We will be back next week covering all of DC's weekly releases. Same geek time, same geek channel. Those comics are Detective Comics Annual, Batman Superman World's Finest Annual, Batman The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween #7. Won't be covering that one. The Question All Along the Watchtower #6, The Power Company Recharge #1, and there's a few FCBD specials that are gonna be out as well.
Oh, shit. It's free comic book week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're giving out in
Wow.
special editions of DC All in Absolute, Superman's Good Guy Gang, and Kanga U. So
Wait,
not a
Free Comic Book Day
massive
can't be
one.
next week.
Say again?
No.
No way. It's always
'Cause
the
it's in
first.
May.
Yeah, it's the first Saturday in May.
Oh, the first Saturday in May is next week.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh man, what the fuck?
The 30th.
Words
the-
out
the-
is- how does
God.
this
Wednesday,
matter?
Wednesday is the
Hell.
30th.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
god,
crazy.
that is wild. Jeez.
I'm looking
Years go by
forward to
crazy fast.
the Marvel Free Comic Book Day books.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, that is the show. We're getting out of here, so you have to as well. Be careful out there. And remember, in the Geek Matrix, everybody has a home. In the Geek Matrix, you are not alone.
Peace.
See ya. The end.